Starting. It's just easier for me to manage all the audio stuff from over here while I'm at my computer. I just gotta make sure that hopefully everything's coming through. And I do believe it is. And if we go here.
A nasty burn on my finger.
I do that. Copy. Is that on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I can see. Yo, what's up, fishing mode? Oh. Hey, we got 1 like so far. But there's 4 people watching. 7. We should get all the likes.
Everybody like the stream.
Everybody like it. Mike, are we getting out Sunday? What's up, Kudo? What's up, Brian?
So.
Hoping so. Depending on if this weather doesn't want to stick around. I don't know. How long is the weather supposed to be?
Just through tomorrow, and it bounces back pretty fast.
All right, good.
That's there.
What's up, Jack? What's up, Jack? Jay. BB wheel. Just give us a couple minutes. We're getting everything set up.
Ask him how music volume is, microphone volume is.
Music volume and
microphone
volume. Is it all good? Should be pretty good. Get your snow shovels out. Yeah, seriously. I don't think we're going to get snow here. I think it's just going to be mostly rain. They said up north and like in the... Wait, really? Are we supposed to get snow?
Well, dude, I woke up this morning to a winter weather alert, like winter storm alert, saying 4 to 10 inches.
Here?
Town. I was like, what?
Here?
And then, and then it changed. Like, even listening to the radio on my way in out to fishing this morning, it was talking, they're like, yeah, the Keene area and Jaffa area is going to get 2 to 4 inches. I was like, what the hell?
Great.
I can't see chat. Does everybody say volume is good across the board? Mics and, well, your mic and music volume?
Nobody has responded yet, but I'm guessing it's good. How are the mic volumes and
music volume more than
the music volume? Is the music volume nuts?
My kind of guess. I keep hearing a weird.
That was your phone vibrating.
I can still hear it. It should impact the mics because it's not connected to anything. What the hell is that?
I wonder if it's the
against the
spring.
The spring.
Hold on. Give me a second. 1 second.
Bong, 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 bong,
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Really?
It's alright though. Don't knock over that beer. You spilled some.
Yeah, I know. Right, you should be good.
Anybody say anything about music volume?
Volume is low. Bob says mic volume is good. Donk Swampy says volume is low. Volume can't hear music. Brian says.
Can't hear any music?
Can't hear music.
Hang on. Oh, I know I did. There we go. Okay, now music should be there. And I have to tell them.
Okay.
If it's good or not.
Music too loud? Okay, Brian says it's better. Good.
I always forget when we go from like the one mic with like 3 people here to the 2 new mics.
Yeah.
I have to reconfigure like every audio input on my computer in order to make it work right with these new mics.
Jesus.
It's kind of janky, but at the same time it's not. I just forget. There's a lot of steps I put through. Everybody said it's good though?
Yep. Brian says everything's better.
Good.
Says it's better.
Good enough for me. Good enough for government work.
Hey.
Problem?
I've never worked. Wait, no, I didn't.
Did you? Yeah, you did.
Volume is super low.
Volume is which Ben? What volume? Just like in general or music?
Maybe it's your computer.
Perfect. Brian says perfect. Kristen! Hi, Kristen. Who else we got? We got Brian. We got
girl.
Gordy. Hey, Bob. Donk Swampy. David.
Gordy's on here? Oh,
Six
yeah.
Every Wild.
Duh.
Ben.
Didn't see up there.
Hey, I'm a government worker. Oh.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm not sorry. I worked for the government before. Yeah, it was good. The first one was better.
Heavenly. Better now. Yeah. Just let me know on the fly. If anything's off, wonky, any of the volumes not good, let me know. I'll go make adjustments. I can only do so much with the mic input volumes, so if anything, we'll just move the mics closer to ourselves and speak louder. I still need to get like input gain boosters because these mics are very power hungry, and just the way they're set up. There's a little thing supposed to plug in right here between cable and mic that's supposed to boom it up without having a bunch of like white noise feedback static. So it's kind of thing I'm playing around with. Hey Chris, evening Paul, Matt, what beer is that? I gotta show this off. This one is from Dennis. He dropped off last week that I didn't get to drink. Other half, Triple Cut Gems, an Imperial IPA at 10%. You're probably not gonna be able to see it, and hope I don't throw that off. So, music's good. Tough to hear you guys. All right, give me 1 second. I can fix that a little.
Let me just.
Yeah, give both of ours one click up and see if that works. Hey Colton, how you doing, buddy? You catch any more giants? I haven't seen anything. No, it's nope. Yep, that one and then the one past it. Yep. There you go. All right, hopefully, let us know how that sounds. We increase the input a little bit. Good evening, Lisa. How are you? I already forgot if I said that. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I just want to make sure audio is balanced, and we'll go along. Buy the mic adapters.
Buy the mic adapters. Thanks.
Thank you, Vision Mode. Greatly appreciate it, man. Dude, I've been trying. We've got the money. They're not that expensive. They're $40 per mic, but they're in such high demand that it's just impossible to get them right now. They've been on back order.
Because everybody YouTube.
Yeah, I think they're in back order still until May was the last I saw. Like mid-May is what I saw from 2 different suppliers, and that was as of like the beginning of March. It's been brutal. Let me see if I can move this a little closer, and that'll help. Okay, ASAP. Ooh.
Really?
Pre-fish it. Oh, dude, good luck with all this cold rain coming in. That's going to drop. That's going to tank the water temp there.
Yeah.
It's going to be miserable. Charlie, I'm sorry. I've already forgot to say, how you doing? Respond to you. I'm doing good. How you doing? It's been good. It's been groovy.
It's been good. It's been busy.
It's been really busy. I can't say much.
You've been busy fishing.
It's been very busy. I took a nap every day this week. I went old man mode.
Yeah.
Dude, the fish at Nashville River, me and that river have a very love-hate relationship.
I got a good spot in Nashville.
Yeah.
Not on the river, though.
No. You got another spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hopefully, that's all good. Whoa.
Now, one day I caught 8 over 4.
Move that up a little bit. Put in there. Jonathan, how you doing? Hey, David. Any bass addict. How you doing, man? No school tonight? Thought you still at school. Next Tuesday is supposed to be 70 plus. Nice. Okay. It's 8:07, so we'll get into it, but keep the chat rolling. We'll keep going. Talon, hey buddy. Glad to see you back 3rd week in a row. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to talk a lot about chasing ever-changing conditions, especially right now in the Northeast, New England, New Hampshire. Weather's been all sorts of up and down. I think the best stretch of weather we had was what? No, it wasn't even a full week.
Sorry, of what?
Of like consistent weather, like 4 or 5 days at best.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And everything since then has been like every 3 days it shifts
and then
hard.
At night it drops down to 40s.
Yeah.
And then it gets up to 60s, and then it goes down to 40s, and it goes to 30s, and then now it's what raining, cold 40-degree rain.
Yep, with potential for more snow tonight.
Right.
It's gonna be great. So that's what we want to talk about. But before we get into that, we're going to do what we usually do. And we're going to recap the most recent fishing adventure from this past weekend. And actually, for me, the last 3 days. Because I got out today, yesterday, and the day before. To answer Pascal, Lake George in New York, we've never been. We want to go.
Worked on Lake George, but I did not get to fish it. It is definitely one of the lakes that I do want to fish eventually. There's really big largemouth in there.
There is. We'll get out there. It's not that far. It's like a 4-hour ride, I think. So it might be tough for a day trip, but we could be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Baracus, you're absolutely right. It's been tough. Any bass addict? Absolutely agree with that sentiment. Brian, you're making me nervous, dude. I gotta check the weather alert right now. This was updated as of 3:30 this afternoon. Oh, come on.
Well, if you can, you should just go fishing right now.
Dude, it's still saying total snow accumulations of 4 to 10 inches.
Here?
It just says portions of western Maine, portions of central, northern, and southern New Hampshire, but it doesn't actually say specifically. I don't know. That sucks. I bet we're on the lower end of that, though.
I don't think we're going to get snow.
Oh, we're definitely getting snow. This has been consistent about us getting snow. But anyway. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It won't stick for long, but it's still going to wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Everything's starting to bud a little bit. There's a lot more for the snow to cling to. It's going to be wet and heavy. It says 14 inches in New Ipswich?
Yeah, a kid I work with, Eric, he said he's probably going to get around a foot.
Dude. All right. Hammer time. How you doing? Nice town. Where are you going to go chase smallies? Yeah, and Charlie, the cold front. That's what we're just talking about. That's going to suck. Pattern bass in the same day. Yeah.
Good luck, Dong Swampy.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough. Doesn't matter where you are around here. I actually ran into a couple of guys out at where we were yesterday that were pre-fishing for a tournament.
Where did you go? Don't have to tell the name, but
the one with the train bridge. The one where I saw the biggest bass of my life.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, dude. There was do you remember Sean, the other high school fishing coach? We met him out in the river.
Yep.
He got a new boat, Triton TR 21
What's he doing
X
with
something.
his old boat?
Huh? I don't even know. Oh no, he gave it to his kid.
Oh yeah. That's
Dude,
right. That's right. The
250 Pro XS 4-stroke and like 2 12-foot talons, Mega 360, 4 graphs, live scope. Like, oh my god. Anyway, but so he was pre-fishing because he's got a tournament on that place on Sunday. I was like, good luck, dude.
Yeah. Whoa, there?
Yeah, it's gonna be dead. It was dead for us. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's recap. Let's start all the way back to the most recent trip. So right after the stream, I went fishing Friday. I gotta start with that. We got a lot of fishing recaps to do. I went Friday, and it was the first day of that really, really warm weather, and I went up to Vermont. And we got our teeth kicked in. I caught 2. At least they're both good. One was like a really short but fat 2.5-pound largemouth on a stupid Ned rig. I caught a 3 3/4 on the mag draft, 2 casts after seeing legitimately like an 8-pound bass. I think I said 7 in the video, but I think it was bigger. Following my glide bait right back to the boat. Gin clear water came right underneath the boat, right at my feet. Just the water got too warm too fast. I was there with Smallmouth Freaks. He was there 6 days before us, and the water was only 39 degrees. It had just iced out like a week and a half ago at this point.
What did you have water temps?
When we went 6 days later, it was 46 degrees to start, and it climbed to 50 by the time I left at 2 o'clock. So
that's insane.
It jumped 11 degrees in 6 days. It's too fast. Way, way, way too fast. And we just struggled. At least I got 2 good ones. I absolutely lost a big one. And then Saturday did yard work. It was really nice out. And then we banked on going out Sunday late in the afternoon and staying out in the night, hoping that next front pushing through was going to force him to feed. And him and I went out. I went out with my son first to a little pond.
It worked.
And it worked great. Like the wind was blowing up into this one good shoreline, lots of vegetation. It had been blowing up there the last 2 days. So I went up there, threw Chatterbait, caught 5 in an hour, left. And then I picked him up. I'll let you take over from there.
We did good.
We did good.
Right off the bat, I picked up the mag draft. I'm like, I'm just going to throw this. Right off the bat, I caught first cast with it. I got a white perch.
A fat white perch too, dude.
Out of nowhere. Well, what the hell is... I've caught 2 fish on the mag draft. One was like a 3.5 to 4 pound sucker. Maybe even bigger than that. Sucker. And then a white perch. I haven't caught a bass on it yet. But when we launched, the wind was blowing right into this little cove, and we're like, maybe we should just start right here. I think it's a good idea because it's close to deep water. All the bait, obviously the bait was moved up because I just caught a white perch. And so we started throwing chatterbaits, and they started hammering them. Almost every cast we would either get hit or
caught one.
Yeah,
for like 30 minutes.
Yep.
It was like a great 30-minute window. Water was super stained in that area. It's generally pretty clear. Like the whole lake is like what you'd expect for clear for a kettle pond. Visibility is like 5 to 6 feet on a good day.
On a good day, yeah.
And then it was like maybe 2 feet, maybe
Maybe, yeah, because everything was getting blown in.
And it's all like that soft, mucky bottom in there, so it's just kind of stirring everything up, and it stayed in the water, so we went right to the fire crawl jackhammer.
Yep, just hammering them. That was fun.
It was wicked good.
What's up, Rich?
Talon, nice. That sounds like fun. Yeah, fishing mode, those talons are going to be great. Gary, how you doing, friend? Hope you've been doing good. How's the river treating you? John, thank you for arriving. Greatly appreciate it, as always. And Richard, thank you, buddy. So we hit TV18. Good.
He's the guy from Milford.
Good. Oh, yeah, nice. So yeah, we hit that quick window with the chatterbaits, and then nothing for 5 hours. Because we
that
moved.
Long?
Oh, yeah. I went back and looked. I had to edit all the friggin' footage.
Oh, yeah.
I started to, at any rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 5 hours of nothing. But we literally fished the entire rest of the lake.
Did you get that?
Mine?
The one that exploded?
I didn't get to look at it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to look at it after this. Yeah, and just it was we went and looked everywhere else in the lake. We just kept finding colder water. So we came back, and yeah, like I said, about 5 hours later, and we hit like
one again on the chatterbait,
and another one right after that. I caught 2 little runts.
Yeah, and then I threw
the rat.
Because I saw something boil like way up in like it had to have been 6 inches of water.
Yeah, and at this
maybe
point,
a foot.
It was like 7:30 at night, so it's starting to get kind of dark, and like they basically everything just shifted 100 feet.
Yep.
But yeah, then you busted out the rat.
They were out in like maybe like 2 or 3 feet, 4 feet, and then everything shifted right up. They were just tucked right in, and I threw the rat, I don't know, 60 feet to a rock that was right on the shore that I had seen something boil on, like just off of. So I threw the rat way up in there. I got 1 crank on it, and was it a 430 or 432?
Yeah, something like that.
Came up and just demolished the rat. It was awesome.
That was a huge explosion.
Yeah. Not as big as the other one, but...
No. And then we just kept moving back further into this shallow pocket where the water is at warmest. I threw 4 different types of wake baits, and I couldn't get bit. Because he had just caught the 4.3, and I had started the day with a 4.4, my first fish.
Yeah.
On the chatterbait. And then I missed another big one. Again. That bothered me. We went back into that pocket. He already caught one of the rats, so I pulled out all my big wakes because that's what we keep waiting for. And the water temps were just about right, so that's the gamble we were going for. That's the whole reason we went to this specific place and this time in this area. I couldn't get bit. Nothing. 0.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's the same damn bait.
But the rat has a different knock.
Well, you threw 4. Yeah.
And then you're like, tie on the rat. And I took it out, and then I was like, well, you're already throwing the rat. You got the 1. I'm gonna throw on my bull wake, the Mike Buka bull wake.
I was just sitting there thinking, like, fucking idiot.
Well, I didn't know. You know, it was a gamble. I was like, well, you know, okay, he got it on that. This thing worked killer before. I was like, and it's just a different kind of knock, so I'll just throw that just in case. Nothing. 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 casts with each bait to the same like 20-foot spot. Nothing. And then
as soon as I throw in, I think I got 3 cranks.
And then you got like 3.5.
Well, that was the 4.4.
No, I thought the 4.4 was the last one of the day. It was.
No, it was. You're right.
It was the 3.3, right. And then you're like, all right, tie on the rat, and I think I did at that point. No, it was after the second one. You were like, tie on the rat, and I pulled on and I was like, I'll try the bull wake just in case, because I killed it in that same spot with this thing last year.
Oh, we both did.
And throwing it, nothing. Like 10, 15 casts later, I'm like, all right, you go ahead. First cast, he catches another 4.4 on the rat, and then that was it. It was done for the night. But we, it was cool because, like, we went to this spot because the wind had been blowing down into the spot that we knew there was big fish there every freaking year. And we killed it there last year. Mm-hmm. And it was the warmest part of the lake. It was staying. There was activity.
Guess what? It was still there.
Yeah, and we just kept kind of chasing them back in there. Water temp was 54, if memory serves correct.
I thought it was more than that. It was like 50. No.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. It's 56 to 57.
And we had 58
on the very outside, then 58 all the way up.
Yeah.
So we just kept chasing that. Anywhere else we went on the lake was a couple degrees colder. So I know it sounds like we're just kind of talking like, hey, cool, you know, we caught a bunch of fish, but this is kind of the finer details that I want to be able to share. We found the warmest water where the wind had been blowing into. It was the most activity for bait and bait fish and bass. And we just kept shifting around. They were in one little spot, and then a couple hours later, the next spot, and they just kind of kept going where the warmest water was as the day got long, later in the day. So
that was good.
That was good.
It worked out good. Worked out real good.
Monday rolled around, and it was a brutal cold front. We it's like 7 o'clock. I said to him, I was like, do we want to keep doing this? I have a good feeling about it. Or do we pack it in now, get up early, and go tomorrow? And it was supposed to be, and it was. It rained, and it was supposed to drop to like 40 in wind. We're like,
I'm not doing that. They're gonna shut right off. So we stayed. I don't even know what time we stayed till. What?
11.
Was it 11?
Yeah, because then it got cold. That cold front kept pushing it in aggressively, and it got real cold at about 11. Oh, wait.
What?
Quiet that down. Oh. So then Monday, brutal cold front rolled in. And then Tuesday, I went back out to that same spot with my friend Kristen. Hopefully Kristen's still here. And we tried doing, it was like conditions were identical, but the water temp had dropped to 51 when we got there. So
Jesus.
It was 57 where I caught my first 4.4, like that first, area that him and I started in. That's where Kristen and I started. And already, it was still the warmest spot in the lake, but it had dropped down to 51 degrees. So a 6-degree drop in 32 hours from the last time we were there.
Packed up and left.
We debated, but we were like, where else are we going to go in that area? Like, there's that deeper place right down the street, but the water's still too low, so you can't get in.
Right.
That would have been my next guess, but we grounded out, and then I ended up catching. We tried that area and nothing, so we moved over. So warmest water, nothing's going on, wind's blowing into it, all the conditions are the same, but the fish haven't quite moved up. Water temp was way too cold compared to what it was. Everything definitely moved out. So where do we go? There was another wind-blown point that we have done very well on many other times. And I know there's always bait fish over there. So I was like, let's go try first this other wind-blown flat and see if maybe it's a little bit warmer over there. If moved over there, because that flat is like a foot deeper than the first flat. And it's adjacent to much deeper water. So good chance maybe they just kind of shifted over a couple hundred feet. Nothing there. So I was like, all right, let's go try the steep banks and see how that works. Worked mint. I got one good one. It was like 3 3/4, I think. A little 3.3 inch Kitech on a 1/2 ounce football jig. Just drag it slow through the rocks and thump. So slowed way down and paid off. And then as the water warmed up, we went back into that shallow pocket. Now we're starting to actually see things moving around. And they're if we had stayed till like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I think it would have paid off. It got nice and warm, but we ended up with 2 each, and I'm pretty sure Kristen got both of hers. No, Kristen got 1, and I got 2. I got one of the Chatterbait, and Kristen got one of the Chatterbait. Tuesday, different lake. Pretty much the same thing though. Like there's this crazy good spawning flat. We got there, found that water temp was actually 54 to start, which is pretty good for that lake.
Where
I saw the biggest bass of my life on the bed.
Where we were fishing that day.
Yeah, with the wakes.
Yeah.
So remember that crazy hard packed bottom, super shallow?
To the left when you go in.
That where we caught like our last fish?
Yep.
That's where we moved over there and I saw 2 giants come bombing off that flat and going to the grass. So I was like, oh no shit, okay. So then we moved back into not pool 1 where that flat is, but the next pool 2.
Yep.
And I cast a fluke up in there. And this was like late morning, about 11. And you just see this giant V, like something big swim away. I'm like, oh my God, you'd be kidding me. Move up a little bit and I look down and there's one little clearing in all the vegetation. And there's a 5 to 6 pound bass just sitting there 5 feet in front of me.
Ugh.
I'd already cast my fluke past him and it was coming right at him. I was perfect. I twitch, got it right in front of his face and he just kind of backed up, slid to the side, and then I watched him swim in wicked slow and put his nose down on it. And Kristen could vouch for me, like, oh, come on, eat it. And then I saw him pick his face up and turn around.
I hate that.
That was frustrating.
But
we worked those choke points, like from it's so there's like main lake and then there's a choke point down to like a pretty larger back pond, we'll call it, right? Prime time stage area. It's like 4 to 6 feet deep. Lots of vegetation, but also some good hard structure, a couple of hard packed bottom areas. Like it should be good if they're getting ready to transition to that shallower water. And that's what I was banking on with that warmer weather. Tuesday had kind of warmed things up. It's a shallow place, hoping for the best. Go back in there. I got 1 3 3/4 first fish of the day. First fish of the day for me on the spinnerbait. Kristen had got one on a different spot, steep bank, all rocks, and a jig, like 2.5 pounds.
Did you got one on a jig?
Yep.
Yes.
And then nothing for a few hours. We were seeing fish moving. You could tell they're coming up, but the water was still too cold. They weren't really ready to do anything. They were just enjoying that warmer water, and they were just hunkered down. Like, nope, I'm sunbathing today. I don't want to do anything. So we moved back out and started fishing steeper banks, and that worked great. Anywhere we could find a steeper bank with any timber nearby was the only spot we caught fish. We went back to where Kristen caught her fish on that steep rocky bank.
Did you go past underneath?
But before we got there, my first cast of the jig to the steepest, basically the abutment on the left side that we always fish, the very far corner, dragging it down. It's a pretty steep incline, and it's one of the deeper parts in this place, and it drops down to like 10 to 12 feet out there, and there's just a bunch of big scattered boulders. So I cast kind of close, like midway up the bank, drag my jig down, pop, come off a rock, pop, come off a rock, thump. Dude, that's like the, you want to pass out because all your blood goes from this head to the other head, like kind of jig bite. Set the hook, and I thought I had like a 5 or 6 pounder on there. She fought so hard. Got her in the boat. It was 4 3/4 on the Beast Coast jig. And we went around the other side, and there's a spot where there's some like good standing timber, some big boulders, some trees coming out off that. Slow roll my chatterbait past the end of a downed tree, because timber and rocks are your friend in the sun this early when they're moving up. And that's exactly where we caught all of our fish, except for the first one of the day. That my 3 3/4, that was a random spinnerbait one. And I was slow rolling by the branches, and I felt a little tick, tick, and then just stopped. But it wasn't like a thump, it just stopped. I'm like, huh. And I felt a little other way, and I'm like, I kind of just leaned into it because it's straight braid. And she just threw out. I was like, oh God, it's big, it's big. And it was another 4+. She came full body out of the water, shook, and threw my chatterbait, and that was it. When we came back to that steep rocky bank, and there's a tree down the other end, back-to-back casts. I caught like a little 1 pounder and then like a 3. I think it was like 2.5 to 3.
Probably all stacked up on all the timber in there.
Well, so I was like, Kristen, throw your jig in. She got hung up. We went in to get it, and I was like, all right. Well, while we're going in, I pitched my jig, and I saw a bass come out, look at it. He's like, nah. He went back in underneath.
You know where I think a good spot would be?
What?
Either down by the dam or to the when you go under the bridge to the left side of that island.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where we were when I lost the big one on the chatterbait.
Oh, okay.
So, right, Tuesday, shallow, working where all the wind goes. Wednesday, a little bit different. We didn't quite have the wind to help us, but the sun came out when it started warming things up. Steep banks, rocks, timber, like things that just grab that sun and warm things up, and that's what paid off. And then today, this was brutal. So we went to that smallmouth spot you and I went to last year for the first time. You at Jackson. And I did that rip and run by on my boat. So you filmed it.
Oh yeah.
Nothing, dude. I wasn't even I was marking stuff, but I think it was just bait. And I kept saying to her, like, I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at. I thought it was smallmouth at first, and I thought it may have been a couple Lakers or just rainbows. Nothing on the bottom. The only things we could see were within like 10 feet of the surface. Couldn't bite any jerk.
Did you go back to the island?
Yep.
Same spot?
So I went from the launch, left almost where I started last time, and side imaged that whole shore opposite.
It looks good.
Dude, I found some ridiculous rock piles that you would have never known about. And like one of them was almost like this giant hump. It's such a big rock pile, but it tops out only at 20 feet.
That's good.
Right. So, we go down and like you see all that and you think it's smallmouth, right? It's all nice hard packed sand bottom and then all these random rock piles like kind of in the right depths. Side image it the whole way, and just to kind of like recon. The wind's blowing down into all that. That's where they should be. And we go up to the other spot that I already know. And like I can just pull up to it and cast because it's the one spot that we fished for like 2 hours the one time we've been there. Nothing. And now I'm like, my soul is like, buddy, get the hell out of here. This is not going to work. And we tried another point, windblown point, nothing.
Did you go behind that island?
No, didn't even bother. Didn't even bother because the wind had been blowing out of there that whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So in the warmer waters down, the wind blowing side. Nothing. And if I said to Kristen, I was like, at one point I said, if we get nothing by 11, we're out of here. And we're going to go to a largemouth spot I have and hope for the best. And we got to talk a little bit more, and it was like 9:30, and I was like, we should just leave. Like, let's just go right now, because I do not feel good about this. And she was like, yeah, screw it, let's go. So we left, and we went to shallow kettle pond, 80 acres. How do I say this to you without telling everybody else? The park. Nice concrete ramp.
Okay.
So, either end of this lake is vegetation. Wherever the wind is blowing, go fish that. Simple as that. Moving baits, pin it to the bank, and burn it out. And that's exactly what we did. Dude, my third cast, I had a fish. My fourth cast, I had a fish. I handed Kristen my rod. I was fishing a Beast Coast Miyagi on a naked chatterbait head, like the original Z-Man chatterbait, the cheapest one they make. And they were inhaling the thing. I said, here you go, take that. And I grabbed another rod.
Yeah, I was
Fire
so,
craw.
you sent me that picture and I was like,
oh, dude, they choked it.
Sick.
And then I catch another one on the red jackhammer. And then Kristen caught one. And I caught another, and another, and another. And I was like, yep, we're going to catch like 20 fish in the next 3 hours. We're close. We caught 18.
Most of my fish the day that me and you went out was when I would let it, I'd throw the chatterbait up into the grass and I'd kind of let it sink down for a second and I'd snap it.
Yep.
And I'd start reeling it in. And then when I would grab grass, I would let it sit and then they would pick it up.
That's how a lot of my bites. So I would trying to slow roll it, and I didn't realize it until she asked me. I think at one point I had 8 to her 1, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I had to think about it. I was like, I don't know. I'm just like, everything's so automatic for me now.
Yeah, that's how I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I
Right.
just do it.
Well, so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna like this next few casts, I'm gonna be really cognizant of what I'm doing. And I realized that I was completely varying my retrieve the whole time. I was kind of burning it, and then I'd slow it way down. I'd feel the weeds. I'd snap it, let it sit for a second after I snapped it out, and then slow, and then kind of burn it. And like I was just, it was never
Just
consistent.
erratic action.
It's super erratic, and they were hitting it almost every time. After I went from a burn to a slowdown, not quite killing it, but as soon as it slowed down, thump, and they just truck it. Ended up catching. How much did I catch?
No, I wasn't there.
Kristen caught 5. I caught
So you guys did really good.
I got
then.
13. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I was hoping we were going to get to 20. We were too short. She got 5. But she had the biggest one at 3.1 pounds there. Out of that place. Dude, every
Really?
fish we caught was fat. Like, we've been fishing this place hard the last few
Wait,
years.
you did Miyagi there?
Mm-hmm. Something's changed. Because for a long time, this place had, like, nothing for quality. And it used to be good. It used to be phenomenal quality fishery. But then I started to hear like chatter from the people like, no, dude, it's bouncing back. There's some big fish in there. But it was always a great like confidence boosting place. You go there, you catch a 1,000 1 to 2 pound bass, and you know it's just fun setting the hook.
Yeah, you literally can go there.
Like any time of the year.
Like if you went there, I don't know, maybe like once a week for the entire season, you would probably catch over 1,000 fish.
Right, seriously.
Like not even exaggerating.
Yep. And yeah, Kristen's spot on. And chat, I'm gonna get back to everything too. I'm sorry, we're almost done doing a recap of a week, half an hour into this. But yeah, dude, like every fish we caught was like 2+ pounds. There was only a couple that were under.
So we haven't even discussed this yet. I haven't even had the time to talk to him about.
Because he was at work. Yeah, I just didn't have a chance to even tell him, and I only got home a couple hours ago. I took a nap. Like
got out of work an hour
great.
and 20 minutes ago.
So to kind of elaborate why we went there and everything, like I knew because I was just there Sunday that the water temp was gonna be about mid-50s. After that cold front and everything, it had enough days to warm up. And I know that regardless of either end, there's vegetation there. And I have slayed it 100 times on both ends. Just working moving baits. As long as the wind is, and the worse the wind, the better the bite is on either end. But especially on the north end. They just love it up there. There's a ton of those lily pad beds. And then if you come off just like, and that's in like 2 feet of water. But if you come out like 20 feet, it only gets down to 4 feet. And there's just random piles of vegetation there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They're on
cool
one or the other or both. And you just burn moving baits past them. And we got there, water was 55. It was like high 54. I think it was like 54.6 or something like that.
Miyagi on a spinnerbait.
That might be a little much.
No.
So like I was like, no, this is it. And it is sure shit. The second or third cast just trucked that Miyagi on the chatterbait head. And then trucked it again. Handed Kristen the rod, pick up a fire craw, trucked it again. I was like, this is it. This was the greatest decision. This is gonna work. Doing exactly what I expected them to do. And that worked until the wind died down a little bit, and you could see this gap in the clouds. I'm like, I think that's the front, like the leading edge of this cold front coming through. And sure enough, the air temp probably dropped like another 5 degrees or so. And in about 45 minutes, the whole north end, that water we were in, dropped a full degree in less than an hour. And the bite just, that was it. We went from like catching them every 5 to 10 minutes to We had one in the last like half an hour. And then we ran out of time. I had to get back. But they did exactly what I was expecting them to do. They were there. So it worked great. And I'm glad because we both got on multiple fish. It was actually the best day I've had so far. I think I caught as many fish today as I had. If you throw out last Sunday, I caught more fish today than I think than all my other previous trips combined.
Mm-hmm.
That felt good.
Yeah, I haven't really... I'm slacking.
Don't worry.
I don't have a choice, though.
Grat. All right, so hang on. Let me back up. Lisa, fish following my lure yesterday, but no bite. Probably 10 degrees colder where you are. Oof. Just have to slow it down a little bit more. That would have been great for a jerkbait then, and longer pauses. Like, you know, probably 2 twitches, 3 twitches, and the long pause. You would have been good. Oh, Talon. Yeah, you just got to put in a little more time in that jig, and it's gonna work for you, buddy. I promise. Grat, I think it's you, buddy. Everybody else has said that the volume on everything is good, but if everybody else is having issues, please let me know. I can adjust it on the fly. Kenwood is on fire. Dude, I know. I wish I had time to get down there, but my wife's still working evenings, and so I had to be back, you know, home by 3:30 the latest every day. I can't go far. Yeah, Chatterbait, specifically jackhammer, is stupid good.
Yeah, I had never used a jackhammer before. Literally, I was just like, I'm never going to buy one because they're... How much are they?
$16 each.
Yeah. And you can get like the regular classic for like what?
$4 or $5.
Yeah, they're cheap. He gave me one. I'm never going back. It's as soon as you hit the water, you take one, like a quarter crank, it's already it's already vibrating. It's thing's insane. First cast, I think I got a fish on it.
I think you
First
did.
or second cast.
That's the best thing you can say about that jackhammer, though. It starts vibrating like that
instantly.
And you can slow roll the hell out of it, and it still vibrates.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's worth its weight in gold. Plus, it's got the double bait keeper, so whatever you throw in there, like, stays on for a long time. You don't have to glue it, which is nice.
Right.
Fishing mode, I'll tell you another time where we were talking about. Brendan, are you talking about lakes in general or a certain lake for the north side? I would say lakes in general, but I am talking about a specific spot.
Not all, well, yeah.
It's not...
Bigger lakes, it could be a different spot.
Yeah, we're talking in general, like shallower, smaller spots, and not only specifically on the north side of this lake because the wind had been blowing out of the south. So I'm just going to the wind-blown side. The 2 previous days, well, Sunday and Tuesday, we were fishing the south side because the wind had been blowing out of the north. And then yesterday was kind of a crapshoot, so kind of hard to say which side we need to be on. The wind was still blowing out of the south, but the spot we were fishing isn't really wind impacted. And then today, this wind was still blowing out of the south, so go fish the north side. Like, the wind blowing side this early in the year is your friend because it's taking all that warmer surface water and just rolling it up, and it's gonna just keep pushing it. It's gonna make a couple of degree difference on whatever the wind blowing side is.
Windy Point's got 18 fish today. Yeah, Windy Points. Yeah. If it's got some shallowness to it and there's some structure on it and there's wind blowing into it, throw a chatterbait or spinnerbait. Anything moving, you're most likely going to get smoked.
Yep.
Especially if the temperature is on an upswing.
New Tech Chatterbaits, Donk Swampy. New Tech, I don't think I've heard of them. No, someone brought that up a couple of streams ago, and I forgot to look into them.
I think I looked them up. They look pretty good.
Yeah, John, you're not the only person that's been waiting for a month for it. If you ordered anything from ground from Tackle Warehouse, sorry, you got screwed. All their shipping tanked recently because so many people. I told everybody, we're first 5, 6, 7 streams. Anything you need now, or you think you need in the spring, you should have already been buying it.
Mm-hmm. You should have bought it 3 months ago.
Seriously. So, yeah, it's just getting worse.
Yeah, it's got 3 fat rocks on it. Throw a jig or like a chatterbait or a square bill and smack it off those rocks.
Yeah.
Especially, well, not now because it's going to be snowing, but once it starts to warm up more, I would throw it like a crankbait down into those rocks.
Yep.
And don't be afraid to try and break the bill off of it. They're usually pretty cheap, so get a couple.
Yep. So cross-eye chatters and doing work for me. I'll have to look into that one. Brendan, yep, it's got about 3 fat rocks on it. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about.
Oh, okay, yep. Tackle warehouse do 2-day shipping every time, because the difference between ground and 2-day isn't that big of a deal to me. And I mean, let's be honest, if you're happy to spend $25 on a jerkbait like me, what's $11 for 2-day shipping? Yeah, see, Kyle, smart man, you knew.
Yeah, dude, you're good for like the next 3 years.
How many bags did you buy? I'm curious, because he was telling me about that, but I was like, how many? And he's like, I don't know.
He's like, when I went out with him, like the place that I caught those 2 4.5s,
yeah,
or whatever.
Yep.
When me and him went out there, he's like, dude, check this out. And he opens up his locker. I'm like, the
It's fantastic.
Well, he didn't make it up to the St. Lawrence, so he didn't have to use any of them. Yeah, he's got 50 bags of them.
Nice. Smart. Wicked smart. Yeah, Brendan, it seems to be a total crapshoot as to how quickly everybody's getting their ground shipments at a tackle warehouse. Fishing, Brendan, supposed to be fishing a tournament on the river Saturday. Cold. Oh, yeah. No, that's, oh, yeah, we were talking to Sean about that yesterday. Yeah, good luck with that. So all that cold water, I already heard the current's ripping pretty hard. Eesh.
Where, at the river?
Yeah. Connecticut.
Yeah.
But,
well, it could be
it's been
good,
on fire. Gary, you still here? Tell me how fire the river is, because I've talked to...
Fish those current breaks.
Yep. Jay, going to Candlewood for the first time ever this weekend. Have any pointers? Looking for something small. Dude. Well...
Can't really say.
It's either going to be swim baits or jerk baits. You just got to try and figure out what depth they're at and work with that. That Candlewood has a legendary jerkbait bite. Probably beaten only by Champlain. So, if the water temp's right and you think the bait's right, you can try a couple of different jerk baits. You know, like if I were going, I'd throw a 110 and a 110 plus 2 and hope for the best. But I'd also have a couple of different little swim baits, hair jig
variations.
Yep, I'd actually tried throwing Chatterbait too. Just be prepared, man, because after this cold front, and I don't know how much the weather's going to differ being that far down.
They might be.
Justin,
right down there.
see, Justin was talking to me. Wait, what, Jason? Oh, yeah. It was Jason that said, what?
Okay.
Check across 2-day shipping. Oh. Yeah, just be prepared. It's hard to tell, man, where they're going to be. They're going to be up or down. Jeff, what's a good pattern for this weekend after a snowstorm in the Northeast? Ugh. So, all right, that's...
Stay home and drink. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
God, you're not wrong, though. Why do you think I'm doing tough?
It's gonna be tough.
Like crap, and I'm drinking like crap because I'm not going fishing tomorrow, and I can't go Saturday anyway. I could go in the afternoon, but I'm not gonna because it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
no matter how you cut it.
Like Kyle said, like Slanchby said, sleep late.
Yeah.
Wait till at least there's some sun out to try and at least warm some of the timber and boulders up, and hopefully they'll move up into those areas where you'll be able to try and throw a jerkbait or throw a jig into those deeper rocks and work them slow.
Hang deer stands.
Hang deer stands. Ooh.
Yeah, spot on, though.
Kyle, I got to call you tomorrow, by the way.
So, and you probably don't have to fish that slow. Like, you're definitely going to have to fish slow, jig or jerkbait, but not like ice out painfully slow. I could be wrong, but they usually don't shut down quite that hard. If they're going to bite, they're going to bite. Or they're completely shut down. That's what these cold fronts, at least in my experience, tend to do. It could be different when you're talking much bigger fisheries. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it seems like when you get further south in the Northeast, it doesn't seem to have quite as much of an impact. But further north you go, I just don't get it. You'd think those fish would be hardier and they'd be used to those swings a little bit better. But man, when they shut off, they shut off.
Well, the bait goes down deep and they follow them.
Yeah.
So you just got to try and follow the bait. If you're marking bait up top and it's freezing out, those fish are probably just laying down in the mud in the bottom. They're not going to eat.
Right. Hair jig. If you're fishing a small place, absolutely a hair jig. You just let it sit there. If they're anywhere near it, they might kind of, okay. And they'll look at it and be like, do I really want to eat that? Yeah, I want that all. And they'll just, and they're just going to mouth it. You're not going to know.
You're not going to really feel it.
And I can't even say that specifically from a ton of personal experience. I'm relying a lot on that from what I've been told from people that like live by hair jigs. So there's that.
Small kettle pond specific tips for this weekend after the cold front.
For largies?
For largies.
Stay home.
Jerkbait. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
I sent you maps of the lake. I'm going small.
Oh, yeah, down. I just got it. I'll take a look at that. So, Donk Swampy. Small kettle pond specific. So, all right, where I was today with Kristen.
Right.
That's a small kettle pond. It's 80 acres. Average depth is 10 feet? 8 to 10 feet?
8. I think it's like 8 to 9 feet is like.
Yeah, that's
where
pretty
it goes,
average.
and then it goes down to that like 1 16-foot hole or whatever it is.
Yep.
Or 14 feet or whatever it is. But the rest of it is just flat.
If I were going to go there Saturday, after this cold front, I know of an area where it's like 8 feet deep at the bottom of a relatively steep bank, and on the eastern side, and it's just all big scattered rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I would start there with a chatterbait, spider jig, hair jig. Not chatterbait, jerkbait, spider jig, hair jig. And probably a regular football jig. Just like a bunch of different sized and profile bottom contact jigs. Sometimes they want the meal, sometimes they just want something super easy that they don't have to go hard after.
Don't wake up early.
That too. Like your afternoon is, like Kyle said too, your afternoon is going to be your best bet. And then on the western side, there's a bunch of timber on an even steeper bank that gets down to like 10 to 12 feet. They're going to be on one or the other. And they're either going to be biting the jig or they're going to be biting the jerkbait. So that's kind of where I'd start. And then depending on how warm it gets and really just how hard this cold front shuts it down, like we're kind of in this weird limbo state where we're not sure how much snow we're going to get. You know, if it's only 2-3 inches, it's not gonna be that bad. If we get 10 inches, dude, forget it. I wouldn't even go out Saturday. I might not even go out Sunday if we get 10 inches of snow. You probably can't even go out anyway.
Right.
If that 10 inches of snow is not gonna go away that fast. Like, we probably won't even be able to launch on some of these places.
Who are you kidding?
Yeah, that's true.
We'll
bring a shovel. But like, at the same point, like, you get 10 inches of snow dumping into a small kettle pond, fucking forget it. They're just gonna be done for a couple days. And I could be wrong, but
I mean, they could turn on randomly out of nowhere. Just, who knows?
Right.
You never know, honestly. You can learn all you want to learn, but at the end of the day, the fish are going to do what they want to do.
Right. And this is really hard to answer because we're talking about a cold front situation that how often we deal with in our lifetime. Like, it's not an exaggeration.
We've had 2 weeks of over 60 degrees.
Right. And all the lakes and all the smaller ponds in southern New Hampshire are already in the mid to upper 50s.
And then we're getting dumped
with snow and cold rain. This is kind of unprecedented in my life. I don't recall getting a snowstorm of this significance this late in the year after the water's warmed up this much. So, there's only so much I can say that I think is going to work, but
yeah, I think Kyle's right.
Right, yeah, by that point, I absolutely agree with that. Early, midweek next week, it's going to turn right back on because those fish want to put the feed bags on. Absolutely.
They have to. If they're going to spawn, they got to feed.
Yep. But I think it's going to be too cold too fast tomorrow. And it's not just too cold. Like, it depends on how much snow we get. It's such a wild card. I can't really tell you until we know what we're actually going to get. So we just got to play it by ear, man, and just be prepared to fish insanely slow.
Yeah, and I would find the deepest structure that you can.
Yep.
Because they're not going to be up in 3 feet of water anymore. They're going to move right back down deep.
Yeah, they may even move far.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're moving hard right now because that cold front, dude, when it came through, like, it was pleasant up until, I don't know, like 1 o'clock. And then there was like a definitive, all of a sudden, like, couple degree temperature change. And then within the next hour, I went from comfortable to like cold, and I could see my breath, like my mouth and my nose and everything was just cold just from breathing in the air. I'm like, yeah, it's changing. It's starting to flip. So it's gonna be interesting.
It's almost going back to ice out.
Yeah, seriously.
Pretty much. It really is.
Are cold fronts worse in the spring or summer? Spring, absolutely. Because in the summer,
there's still. If the water's, if it's 100 degrees out and you don't want to go outside and play, and it goes down to 60, you're gonna go out and play.
Right.
So they're not going to be chomping it. I mean, they're still going to be eating in 80 degree water, but if it drops back down to 60, they're going to be freaking moving hard and they're going to be chomping everything.
Right. And perspective too, right? Like if you're talking cold front now, like, yeah, things are warming up, but really only at the surface and whatever the sun can really hit. But, like the core of these ponds are still very cold. Like all that soft crap down at the very bottom and some of that deeper water, that's still really cold. So a cold front can bring down whatever is lightly warmed up pretty fast, and is going to kind of almost like regulate, for lack of a better way to put it, back to what the majority of that colder water is down below. So the rest of it can come back to that quickly. Versus when it's already really warm and you get a cold front, like the core of the body of water is already pretty warm. So you're only shocking the surface. It's not going to get and seep down into it. Whereas right now it's already cold down into this, it's seeped in. So it's different. That's why, in my opinion, it's way worse in the spring.
Yeah, because they're not going to be up in those coves anymore.
No.
They're going to be on the main body.
Yep. They're only coming to the coves because it's just like all of a sudden.
Oh, it's warm up here. All the bait's up here. Good.
Right.
And then it gets cold. Where'd the bait go? Right back out.
Yep. It's almost like a heat lamp effect, right? No, like the rest of the lake is all pretty steady for the most part, and all of a sudden the sun warms up one spot. It's like a little heat lamp just sitting on the rocks, and they just come up. And once that heat lamp comes off, there's nothing great about that spot anymore. The rest of the lake is all the same. So well, screw it. I'm gonna go back down to where I was comfier anyway. Yeah, Kyle, I absolutely agree. Slaunch Beach Crew. They will revert back to main lake banks. Yep.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
If I could freeze frame any part of the year, it'd be right now. Yeah.
Yeah, before
the cold front.
Yeah.
Like today?
Yeah.
If I could freeze frame today, would have been all over it. David, is it really going to snow that much? Well, you're on the coast, so it's different. Like it drastically changes. As soon as you come further inland. I don't know, man. I've heard different things on the news. I've heard just a couple inches. I heard maybe a dusting, if anything. I just checked my phone. National Weather Alert, as of 3:30 p.m. today, still said 4 to 10 inches. Though it didn't specify, like I have it set to my town, but it's kind of like general. I don't know if it's covering the whole state. My guess is it's going to be a couple of inches down lower elevations. Further inland you go, higher elevations, it's going to get hammered.
Who knows? I have no idea.
Yep. 50 to 54 degrees is so fun. Yep. And we've learned a lot more about what the bigger female largies are doing in that water temp too. So it's like extra fun. Yeah, Hoffman.
I should even get out water. You should
go out in the afternoon.
I would.
Sleep in, man. There's no point in going out super early after all that crap. Let the day at least warm up a little bit. Your best chance is going to be later in the day. Hope for the best.
I'm hopefully going to be doing a wheel bearing in my trailer Saturday morning.
That'd be fun.
Or not Saturday morning. I work Saturday mornings now. Saturday afternoon. I'm sorry.
Get it done quick so we go to the skate park. No, that's all officially open.
And then it's going to be covered in 10 feet of snow.
Yep. That's going to be so funny. All the kids are going to yay! Oh.
Yeah. It's so much fun, man.
I know. I get to ride that and it was so much fun. But we digress. It's funny because we started the stream and I was thinking like I was going to start throwing hypotheticals, but also said bring your questions. We haven't even had to get into any hypotheticals yet. People are throwing us great questions. So thank you guys. Keep it coming.
Yeah. Gets me thinking about I wish I could be fishing on this weekend.
And then one other thing, for those that are still watching, you're hanging out. One, thank you. Always appreciate you guys hanging out. Like we've been actually doing really good on viewers tonight. Better than average, which is always amazing. For people that have donated, thank you so much. We're actually getting really close to that next goal. We're trying to get a new digital camera, so we're going to replace this webcam. Helps with the streams. It's going to make my setup in here so much easier.
The B-roll is going to be amazing.
Bring it out in the boat, get some better pictures, the whole 9 yards.
Those silky smooth, largemouth, 900,000 pounders coming out of the water super slow.
So we're getting close to that. So thank you for those that have donated. Seriously, greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching, just leave a like on the stream. Share it too, if you could, please. Really don't care where you share it. I don't even care if you're just texting it to friends. Like literally anything that you do would be great. This thing has been taking off pretty well, and I'm really happy about it because this has been fun. This has been one of the most fun things I've done in a long time. The channel's been fun anyway, but this is like so much less stressful fun. The videos can be tedious at times. And now we're getting close to the point where you can start editing videos too, and that takes some load off my back.
Yeah, I gotta
get
that freaking PC. Yep.
And then, things have been good, man. Like things have been really good. So we'll thank you all again. Greatly appreciate it. This has been crazy. Like more people are just like recognizing us. We're out in the water too, which is like wild, but
yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's weird.
Run into people and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know you."
Right. And like it feels good at the same time. Like I still feel uncomfortable about it just because like I don't think I'm anything special. I'm just some schmuck that's trying to share knowledge so I can help others learn. I don't know.
Right, and it's fun.
Yep. But that's what we're here for. Help others.
I like learning this stuff too. Like if you guys want to teach me something.
That's what it's all about. Mutual learning.
Skate videos? Teach me how to switch flip.
I hear you're doing just fine on your own. Brendan, how late in the year will you throw Vision 110 for largemouth? It depends. Because...
For largemouth? Dude, yeah.
I'll only throw it right up until about spawn. And then I stop. And then from there, I just go to like everything else. I shouldn't, but that's just where my comfort zone is with it. I prefer it till about like low 60s. And then I'll stop. What are you laughing at? Like, oh God. Damn it, fishing mode.
You're the Kardashians of fishing. Thanks.
Yeah, so like I can't. I'm not the best person to ask that question of because I'm still not like 110% into jerkbaits. Like I tried today. I did better today than I did in days past when we were at the Smalley spot. Mm-hmm. Because everything looked like it should have been. I had the 110 and the 110 plus do it, and I tried. And everything about that lake felt wrong. That's why we bailed. I know people that fish that, like Kyle just said, never. Like literally all year long, they'll throw that 110.
Yeah, I threw it all year last year. Like I said, I had Smallies come up in 30 feet.
Yeah, that was late in the year too.
Yeah,
like
it was
August.
just a regular 110.
Yep. Where's Mouse? Go back. Miss anything? Oh, Grat, do you guys get into JDM tackle? No, not yet, but I'm starting to. I've got a real bad bait buying problem lately. Like this last year has been bad. I actually just got another tackle warehouse order in today. I have 2 more mag drafts. I now own every trout pattern that they make.
I have 1
that looks good for this area because all of our designated trout ponds are starting to open up 4th Saturday in April. So we're getting so close. Oh yeah, you know. We wouldn't even talk about it. He knows. If you know, you know. And you know. Also know is I've got my big ass trout glide and I've got my mag draft and I've got all my little hair jigs and my little baby swim baits. And I'm going to get them on one of them. But I'm really hopeful for one of those big baits. I'm going after another PB this spring. That's my goal. But we'll see how it goes. A couple places. New place I'm going to go to with a subscriber as soon as that place opens up. And it's going to be good. Place I've never been to. So it'll be fun. Hey, Carl. Thank you, buddy. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, Brendan, I mean, that's kind of like the benefit of what we're doing. We're like, there's next to nothing for northern creators. Like northern in general. Never mind northeastern, New England. And I know we're New Hampshire based and we kind of focus on New England, but everything that we talk about just works for any cold water fishing states, you know, all the way across the north. As long as it's got the same forage, like what we say still makes sense to a large degree. Not 100%, but to a large degree.
And if you have gobies, then I don't want to talk to you. You have it easy.
You guys make my Thursday, Chloe and Kim. Oh God.
Whatever.
John, finesse jerkbaits caught a 314 3-bait. What do you mean by finesse jerkbait? I'm curious what you mean. So much, man, between tackle and firearms and broke all the time. Oh God, dude, don't even talk about firearms too. I would love to get a pistol again. I can't get myself to stop spending money on fishing stuff so I can afford a really expensive pistol. But I want to.
You should get what I have.
Which one?
Mine.
I forget what you have.
HK VP9 Tactical.
Oh, yeah. That the one you had in the boat that one night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that one. This is a nice one.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah, dude, that S-Waver 168 is, if you want to get into glides and you want to do it on a budget and you can throw it on literally anything, it's the S-Waver 168. That is like the dual beginner glide and it slays.
Is that the one that we have?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, damn. Thank you, Talon. Greatly appreciate that, dude.
What did you say?
Is that what we've been saying? Even works there in Kansas. He learned a lot from our vids.
Oh, good. Sweet.
70 to 80 millimeter. Oh yeah. I just got the 110+1 Junior from NE Bass Addict not too long ago, and the colors look amazing.
Teeny little one, right? Yeah.
I tried throwing that a little bit today too, but again, that place just wasn't it.
Thank you. I sneezed. Hey, did you hear the governor saw a shower today? Only 3 more weeks of COVID.
That was good. Yeah, actually, they're taking away the mask mandate. It ends Friday.
Yeah. Oh.
There goes your joke,
1 week.
dummy. Hey, do you know why golfers wear 2 pairs of pants?
I don't care.
In case they get a hole in one.
Oh my god.
There's nothing better than telling Andrew bad dad jokes.
You have any ibuprofen?
I can get you a drink.
He told me one on the boat, and I just laid down the front deck for like 10 minutes.
Wait, was that the geology one?
Yep. No, it was the horse one.
Oh, why did the pony ask for a cup of water?
It was a little horse.
Fantastic. Sorry, Lisa, you guys do make an impact. I'm throwing stuff I've never before. My black and blue jig I throw and say Andrew says. Nice.
I'm going, wait, what did you say? Sorry.
Lisa saying we make an impact and she's throwing stuff I never would have before. A black and blue jig I throw and say Andrew says.
Yeah. They work, I'm telling you.
That they do. Hey, that's where I caught all my jig fish on yesterday. Especially that 4 3/4. Oh. Getting all tingly in the right spots thinking about that bite again.
I'm tingly about that 3.5 that hit that rat.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that got on. Dude, it had to have.
I probably would have had way more fish today if I stuck it out with the chatterbait, but like, I got like 5 or 6 in the boat. Chris and I had 1. I was like, I'm just gonna let her hammer this. And one of the things I'm trying to do is like, if I establish a pattern, then I try and pick like the next big, the next thing that I have for big bait that's kind of close to that, and work that and see if I can't root out some bigger fish. And I think I forget what I threw. I threw a couple different things, and then I had my Defcon. It's a 7-inch long, like 1.5 inch tall perch shallow crank down swim bait. It goes down like just sort of slow and steady crank. It goes down like 1 to 2 feet. It's got a wicked nice swim to it, and it clacks and kind of squeaks as it goes along.
Sounds good.
It's perfect for the area we were fishing today.
It's not like a knock. It's like a
clack.
Like a clacky, clunky kind of. Yep. It's weird. It makes a weird noise, but it sounds really friggin' good.
Dude, first cast with that thing, I caught one.
I'm sure you did.
Second cast with that thing, I lost one, and it was good. Dude, I felt thump, and I kind of leaned into it, forgetting that those big treble hooks, I need to like set it. And I leaned in, and it didn't move, and I was like, that's weeds. And then I was like, oh, Kristen, it's big in the net. And I fought it a little bit, and just gone. And I knew it. I knew exactly what it did, because I didn't fucking bury the trebles, and I should. Even though it's treble hooks, they're big treble hooks.
Next Saturday, I'm going out all night. I'll go out till 3-4 in the morning.
Yeah, if it's nice out, we got to. It's so close.
I'm going.
That week that we had last year, that I had, then you came in for the couple nights at the tail end, was the beginning of May. I keep thinking it was in April. We're only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, I know. I want to catch a freaking 8-pounder on my birthday.
Yes. Robert, down here in Tennessee, they're making it so you don't have to have a permit to carry a pistol anymore.
They did that here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, what, 6 years ago? Maybe not quite that long.
I don't know. No, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, I think.
Well, New Hampshire, you could always just open carry anyway.
You could
but
open
if you wanted
carry,
to conceal carry, you had to get a permit. It was like
Correct.
$10, and it took only a couple days. You go to your local PD, fill out a paperwork, they call you back. Yep, you're approved. That's it.
Yeah, I filled the paperwork out, and then like a week later, they're like, "Oh, you don't need it anymore." I'm like, "Can I have my $10 back?"
What else we got? Throw some more questions about conditions. Let me throw a hypothetical at you guys then, because like yesterday was a great example of chasing changing conditions. Got there, and so hang on, David. Hey guys, can't stay long, but I'll watch the replay after work. Hey, thanks, David. Appreciate it, buddy.
Later, dude. You're still here though.
So, all right, I'll throw you a very specific situation. It was yesterday, and it was brutally tough. But we made some changes, and we got some more fish in the boat. We went to this larger body of water. In general, it's pretty shallow, and the main body of it is kind of deep. It gets down to like 10 to 12 feet, and then it kind of comes up onto the shelf that's like 4 to 6 feet deep, a lot of vegetation, some kind of clear lanes, and it goes into this where I think is one of the best spawning areas in this place.
Where?
Place where I saw the biggest fish in my life.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yep, and that yep.
Yep.
Right.
So there's like there's just a giant like backwater. And it's kind of in multiple tiers, and each tier gets a little bit smaller, a little bit shallower. But right off the main lake is like tier 1, and it's a huge area. It's anywhere from like 2 to 6 feet deep. But there's a large area where it's like 4 to 6 feet deep. A lot of vegetation, so it's like a prime time staging area if they're coming out of the main body of water. If you know that they're getting ready to move up, like this is the first area you want to hit hard. And that chokes down to another area that's like 1/3 the size of that. And that's like 2 to 3 feet deep throughout the whole thing. There's a couple spots where it's 1 foot, a lot of vegetation, a couple of hard bottom areas, a lot of lily pad beds. And like if it's really warm, you know, your water temp's getting closer to 60, bait fish are moving up, the bass will move up there, and like generally when they get up there, it's just freaking prime time. You can work fast moving, you know, moving baits fast and just get on them. And then there's like a final tier where like you have waters already in like low to mid 60s and they're getting closer to spawn. Like that's the last spot where they're feasting. All the bait fish are up there like crazy. It's a foot deep. And it's great. So it's such a good spot because I always talk about high probability areas, right? And areas where you can work different transitions for depending upon what stage they're in as they're moving in or out. With that cold front, I figured they had to be somewhere in one of those 2 stages.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they were going to be still on the main lake. The first spot we tried was like the highest probability area, was totally different. It was a couple hundred feet away from that kind of staging area, but it's a steep rocky bank, one of the few that's there. Kristen got the first one, 2.5 pounder on the jig, and that was it. It's like, okay. There's almost always fish here, so that doesn't really tell us anything, but we only got one. And we fished it pretty hard for 30 minutes. That's about all you need to be able to fish a spot like that. So, okay, that gives me a good idea that one of 2 things. Either they're still shut down and they're deep and they're hanging back, or they've moved up. So let's go up and move up. And we worked slowly, methodically our way in. A couple different moving baits, jig where it was appropriate, but otherwise, me flipping back and forth between spinnerbait and chatterbait, because experience always tells me they're either one or the other. There's a light ripple, so I tend to like to throw a spinnerbait when it's a little bit windy, but chatterbait is still kind of king in my eye when you're talking mid-50s. Water was about 54 degrees, 55 degrees, so feeling pretty good. Nothing. We got the one spinnerbait fish for me, and then that was it. Moving into that, we tried like hell. But I started to see the transition happening. Like it was starting to get warmer, the sun was starting to peek through a little bit, wind was dying down, water temp was starting to come up. So, what can I do? It's really shallow. Bust out a weightless fluke. Heavy gauge, 3/0 hook, so it's enough to weigh it's down and working like a jerk bait. Work it kind of rapidly. Holy shit, Brian.
603, baby. That's awesome, Brian.
Damn. Thank you, Brian. Holy crap. That's amazing. Thank you. Damn. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, right?
What was I saying?
I don't know.
Something. Right,
I wasn't listening anyway. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
So, like, chime in at any point with this. So, like, we felt that they were... I couldn't tell if they were just upside on that next tier, where, like, they're starting to feed them more aggressively, or if they're way back. So we kept working, like, that overlap between...
Is this you and Kristen or you and me?
Me and Kristen.
Okay.
Yesterday. And I bust out the fluke, and I was just catching pickerel after pickerel, but then I ended up catching one bass. It's like, okay, things are starting to look good. We started seeing a lot more activity. I caught a couple of crappie on that fluke. So I felt like, and I caught like 10 perch on the red lipless craw. Red craw lipless crankbait.
So the bait was there.
Bait was there. And they were all right in that first area, in the choke point between main lake and first area, and the choke point between first area and second area. That's where
the bait could have got
everything.
pushed out by the fish going up in.
So that's what we thought. So we went up shallow. Nothing. So the day's getting warmer. The fish aren't moving up. They haven't moved up. They're not there. So what do? Trying to talk and chasing beds. We already started out on those steep banks first thing in the morning. They weren't there. Now the sun's coming up. They weren't already up in the shallows, so they had to have been main lake first thing in the morning, and now they're moving up. So back to the steep banks looking for rocks and timber, because now at this point the sun has been out working hard. So change it up. Go back to the jig. Go back to this, jig primarily, but then back to a chatterbait and just kind of slowing the presentation a little bit. And we that was it. Like, just had to wait for the sun to kind of come up and pull them up. But it was weird because they started in that kind of mid-area vegetation, and then they shifted to more harder structure as the sun came up and warmed things up, and then they started really feeding aggressively. And if we could have stayed out there for a few more hours, I think they would have continued to shift and push into that like first initial stage.
Yeah, they probably would have.
Because it's just like the perfect temperature.
Would have grinded out. You probably would have got on a few more fish.
Probably, and a few good ones too. I mean, if I was one bite away from having an insanely
definitely
good day,
going to be a couple good fish in there.
Right. If I landed, so that one big one I dropped in the Chatterbait, if I caught, it was without a shadow of a doubt at least 4 pounds. And I had the 4 3/4, I had a 3 3/4, I had 2 2.5s. Kristen had like a 2.5. If we'd stuck it out, easily would have, at least one of us would have gotten one more good 3+ without batting an eye. We would have been sitting on a good bag.
That place is usually pretty good for a 4-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really any place around. Like any of those kettle ponds, they all have a good population of big fish in them.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really, really tough to catch. Canal?
DJ Emergency. Which canal? Are you talking about like the Striper Canal?
That would be freaking awesome. I would love to do that.
Right?
I've been wanting to fish the canal for 15 years now. We've just never made it down.
No.
Whopper Plopper bite. When was that?
You guys did that one time.
Was that the Winnie one?
Yeah, the Winnie bite was good. You know, I've never really caught a big fish. Look, a 5-pounder.
Look, a 5-pounder. No, I've never caught a big fish I never caught a big largie on a drop shot.
We
look,
did
a
that
5-pounder.
like 20 times last year. Just like, you know, we haven't done something, and then literally within a minute, that thing happens.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Weird.
I was about to say it was weird, but it was
sweet.
awesome. Ryan, best baits for smallies this Sunday? I can't answer that without knowing water temp. Hang on, I'm catching up to... I'm assuming you're talking about the quabbin, but give me an idea for what you're talking about for water temps and what they've been doing to what you think they're going to currently be doing. And we'll go from there. Yeah, Brian, we're on the camera. Thank you, man. I gotta go and see how much we're at. Because I'm gonna put some of my own money into this too. I'm not gonna, like, ideally, if we get enough donations to cover the whole thing, it'd be freaking awesome. But
right, very close. We can just split the rest of it.
Yeah, because it's not. I'd like to get it sooner than later.
I'd get it before summer.
Yeah. So yeah, Ryan, if you guys are interested in fishing the Quabbin weekend, message me. Come down and shoot me some cool footage. Dude, yep. I'm going to go down there with Dale Lyman, too. He was in here a couple weeks ago. That guy slays on the Quabbin. Oh, my God. Watching him post all those pictures of giant freaking smallies last year.
Are largies in there?
Year. Oh, yeah. Big largies, big smallies. Just big everything.
My goal this year is to catch a PB largie. My goal last year was to catch a PB smallie.
My goal this year.
And I did it how many times? 4 times? 5 times?
5 times.
I want to catch a PB largie this year.
I hope you don't have to wait as long as I did to bake your PB. But you have a much bigger step to hurdle than I did. Much bigger step to climb.
It's going to hurt.
Man, that's why we're out there grinding right now, though. Like, this is the time of the year to go out and grind for a big largemouth.
I haven't been able to, really. I'm slacking. I'm sorry, guys. I'm slacking.
Yeah, but you're gonna get your trailer fixed up, and you're gonna be good to go, like, right at prime time.
Yeah, I'll be going out every day.
Yeah, you and Kristen will be able to go out and fish together on Mondays.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, she has Mondays off.
Yes, she does.
Kristen.
She has Monday through Thursday off.
We are going to slay.
So, the 2 places I took her to today, she'd never been to. She'd never even been out in that area before. Like, all those ponds that I've been taking us to for the last however many years, she's never been out there. I was like, oh my God, you've been missing out. There's so much goodness out here.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, especially where we were today, she's never been. She's like, I'm definitely coming back here. I was like, yeah, you absolutely have.
Yeah, absolutely.
She'll love it there. Yeah, heck yeah, let's go, Andrew.
Yeah, we're gonna catch we're gonna night fish Sunday nights.
Yep.
Me and you are gonna go all day, and then me and her are gonna go all night. And we're gonna get some freaking giants this summer.
Dog Swabby, how do you feel about finesse stuff like Ned rigs after these cold fronts? Ned rig is actually very good after cold front. I
caught that one, the only fish we got that day on a Ned rig.
One of the only 2 that I actually landed on Friday. Granted, it's not a cold front, but whatever. You know, it's still cold conditions. It was on a Ned rig. Ned rig just works all freaking year. It just works, man. Like, yeah, absolutely throw it. Yeah, Nicholas, canal gets way too crazy. I've heard that.
I've heard it gets ridiculous until like I heard a lot of people go there to catch their keeper and then leave, like early in the morning, and then it kind of clears out. But I could be wrong. I mean, I heard that the bite there is just insane. So avid people are going to be there to try and catch freaking 40-pounders, 30-pounders.
Yeah,
it's insane.
We just go back to the spot we were hitting in the winter.
Right.
Be awesome. Victor, yes, that does make you professional. Turtles catches fish. It may not be the fish you want, but it will get. Yeah, Talon, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing. Like
the turd.
Yeah, the TRD, Z-Man TRD.
Oh yeah. Duh.
It's like a new version of the weightless wacky rig Senko, except it sits on the bottom versus really slow fall. It just works. It works really well. There was another topic that I wanted to cover, but I don't think it's going to fit in tonight. It's already 9:15, and there's still a lot of questions coming in, so we'll just kind of keep at this. So keep hammering us for what you want to talk about. And you know what? At this point, it could be anything too. Like, we can keep talking about chasing different conditions and stuff. If I had to wrap up that whole thought, and I want your say on this too, be flexible. Be very flexible, and be very cognizant of what you're doing and what happens every time you catch a fish at this time of the year. Because it literally changes sometimes 2 and 3 times a day as it warms up, especially when we're coming out of a cold front and we get a couple of really warm days. If you're fishing a deeper lake, you could go from catching them on, say, a blade bait, like smallmouth. You can be catching them on a blade bait out on a flat in 30 feet of water at 7 a.m. and then by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're catching them on like Ned rig in like 3 or 4 feet of water, you know, like on a steep bank. It's crazy how much it can change. You just need to be prepared to be able to fish both bottom and suspended. And that's the biggest reason why I focus so hard on getting good with the jerkbait for years, because there's gonna be plenty of times where they may be in the bottom, but they're not feeding down, or they're just suspended, and obviously they're not gonna feed down from there. You need to be able to cover both. You need to cover the whole water column from 4, 5, 6 feet down to the very bottom, and in like 40 feet. Just be flexible, see what the conditions are doing, and the moment your bite starts to dry up, if there's been some consistency and it just drops off, they've shifted. And depending on what the weather's done, if it's warming up, they're shifting up. And if it's cooled off, then they've shifted out. So just, you gotta be cognizant of that. With these colder temperatures, those swings and their shifts can change drastically in a very, very short amount of time.
Sir Altitude, he said, what type of baits do you put on your chatterbaits? Do you ever put a trailer hook? No, I will never throw a trailer hook on a chatterbait, because I throw a 3.8 to a 4.8 Kitech trailer, and if you throw a trailer hook on there, it's going to severely decrease the action of that swim bait.
Big time. So you know what's funny? We only caught one fish on the chatterbait with a swim bait trailer on it today. The rest of them were with a craw trailer, sideways. That Beast Coast Marauder. It was perfect.
Yeah,
it
the Marauder, the legs on that thing are really good.
Well, and then the red that he has, which I actually may have some over there. No, it's up in the box. They're buried. The red one that he makes, which I think it's just Rayburn red or something like that, is perfect for like that fire craw jackhammer. It was a match made in heaven, perfect color and size combo, and dude, they were choking it.
I put the Z-Man goat on.
Yep.
And that worked. That worked really well too. It's got 2 appendages, not a swim bait, but use it as a jig trailer also.
If I'm not using so Beast Coast Marauder is great. You can just use a striking rage craw, works great. What he said for swim baits, I do the same thing. Swim baits are killer. Had a long time, caught no fish, no bites, but that's nothing new. Lost 3 lures, 2 in trees, dozens of backlashes. Yeah, Ferris, that sucks. I'm sorry, buddy. That was Kristen yesterday. Something was up with her one rod and reel, but she broke off 3 jackhammers in 3 consecutive casts. Yeah, it was bad. I tried going looking for every single one because they only landed a couple feet, but you know how weedy that place is. I couldn't find a single one. So, dude, I've had days like that. That's what. So she originally had a leader. And she broke on the second one. I was like, cut the leader. Just go straight braid. And it happened again anyway.
Old braid?
Maybe. That's the one thing I didn't ask her. It was tough.
That's why I don't use braid.
We've all had days like that, and it sucks.
Because it just disintegrates if it gets old.
Right.
I'll never use braid.
We are, way behind. Grat, hot summer days, do you move around the lake looking for shade? Yeah, if it's shallow, absolutely. And we actually won a tournament not too long ago doing that.
What?
Same place Chris and I were at yesterday. Remember Jerry? He left early. Jerry, are you here? I said that we were going up. We were on the other side of the bridge. I was like, we should work the shade because it's gonna be hotter than hell today. And let's start there. And I caught like a 3 3/4 and one that was over 4. Yeah, I think they were both supposed to be.
Two
on my scale, they
one
were
was
4.
4.5, the other one was 4 1/4, and it read like 3:15 when we finally waited.
Because 8 hours later on a freaking 100-degree day.
That was hot.
It was really hot. But yeah, like, dude, shade is your friend. Especially first thing in the morning, work that shade hard because once they're not in there, they're going to go hunker down somewhere and they might not bite. So yeah, absolutely, dude. All about the shade. Or midsummer. Well, no, you just specifically asked about
midsummer,
shade.
go find that damn shade.
Yep. Or deep structure.
Either deep structure or like where like there's an inlet.
Yeah.
Where there's cooler water coming in from a brook or anywhere like that, or any type of like a drainage pipe or anything that's feeding in water. It's fresh water. It's going to be colder than the water that's getting heated up by the sun all day long.
Yep.
It's just fresh water coming in, oxygenated water, and they will usually stack up because the bait. If you go up to a drainage pipe or whatever, and you see the fresh water coming in, go up to it and just look. You'll see all the bait fish stacked up around it.
Big time.
Almost every time. And those bass aren't far.
Brendan, chatterbait retrieve speeds and techniques this time of the year, 50 to 54 degrees. That's literally what we're doing. 50 is kind of cold, but as slow as you can go. And that's why I like the jackhammer. You can slow it down to nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Which you just found out.
Literally nothing.
Dude, it's so, just like creeping it along. And I like braid for that reason too, because I can feel it. I'm just slow rolling. You can feel a little tuck, 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 tuck. It's just kind of like, almost feels like it's knocking. You're going so slow, but it just works. And as it warms up, just speed up your retrieve. Shall wait this thing will bite or not. Oh, okay, yeah.
Senkos get bit?
Yep, all the time. Havoc Pit Boss. Really? I wouldn't think that would have enough action on a chatterbait, but I could be wrong. I guess those appendages, I guess they're long and thin, so they must dance like crazy.
It's not just the appendages on a chatterbait that are making the appendages move.
That's true.
It's you got the blade moving the whole
right, and the chatterbait kind of hunts and stuff.
Yeah.
The jackhammer specifically.
Right.
Oh, Grat. So yeah, to elaborate on that, if I can't get them up shallow in the shade and I find it, I absolutely go deep. I'll look for deep, hard structure or deep grass. Like when I'm fishing Winnipesaukee, I'm either looking for humps or I'm looking for deeper grass piles, and that can only be like 20 feet deep. Find some good grass. Drag a T-rig worm, drag a Carolina rig through it, like a 18 to 24 inch tag on it, and let that worm, lizard, whatever you want, float up above all that crap. Works killer. Yeah, the Brendan Marauder is best. Is a phenomenal chatterbait trailer.
If you guys want to get the Marauders, it's right here.
Damn right.
Beast Coast, baby.
There's a little comment box. You just say 603 Bass sent you. That's for both of us.
Okay.
We
good.
are 603 Bass. You are
That's
603
true.
Bass now too.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I mean, I am.
I have my own discount code.
Yeah. So if you want me to elaborate further on the chatterbait retrieve, I think we covered it though. Saw a video on a chatterbait with a swim bait on the back and a trailer hook, and the action was fine. Honestly, like,
It's probably
you shouldn't need it. It's rare that you get nipped on a chatterbait.
Yeah, they usually don't
it.
miss it. They're gonna smoke that thing.
Today was the first day I actually had a couple of short strikes on the chatterbait, and I can't remember the last. I don't think that's ever happened before.
I've had it once.
Well, your trailer's short enough that they're gonna come up and grab it. They're just gonna grab it. Spinnerbait, on the other hand,
It also depends on the
I
size of the
won't.
trailer you're using during the size of the trailer you're using on it, depending on what time of year it is.
right?
Like in the middle of summer, I'm going to use a way bigger trailer.
Like a 5-inch swim bait.
Yeah, with a 4.8 to a 6-inch swim bait on it.
Yep.
And they don't miss it. They see it, they want it.
Yep. They choke it.
Mm-hmm.
Faster tree swing it is back too quick, but if you're going to fish it like a jig, you may as well just use a jig. Not necessarily, Ferris. That's one of the things that I learned last year when we went and fished that golf course, and I didn't bring a jig because I just assumed that it was going to be way too crappy in there. And then like he's got 10 fish, and I'm sitting there like, what the f-? He's like, oh, it's all on the jig. I'm like, I didn't even bring one. I thought it was going to be way too like branches and crap down there that never would work.
No way.
But I had a black and blue jackhammer, and I fished it like a jig.
Yeah, you started getting bit.
And I started getting bit.
You lost a big one too, didn't you?
Dude, I dropped like it was easily a 3+.
Yeah, this pond is the size of this room too. So
he's not joking. It was tiny, and there was big fish in there. It was great. You can fish a chatterbait. It's a moving bait, but it doesn't have to be. That's a thing that I had the hardest time wrapping my head around for years. It's just because a bait is advertised as such doesn't mean you have to fish it that way.
No, I do a lot of different baits.
Yep. I'm not gonna say it because it's his thing and it worked. But when we were at the St. Lawrence River 2019, our first time, and I told the Dragon Custom Tackle team what you did when you caught your at that point his PB, a 4.4 pound smallmouth, and like just doing other things like going completely against the grain.
Jerk fishing.
Yeah,
fishing like a jerk.
That's how Mike Klaus said. He's like, he was fishing like a jerk.
Catching.
He was out fishing the shit out of me. So what do you want me to tell you?
He was fishing
Dude,
upstream, and I was fishing downstream.
with a bait that should never have been drop shot, and yet it freaking killed it. And not just there, it continued to kill it elsewhere.
Everywhere, which has worked.
Use your imagination. If you think that the bait, you think it could be a jig bite, but maybe they want things moving, jackhammer is great for that, or chatterbait in general is great for that. You can bounce it like a jig. You can hop it along. It's not going to stand for the most part, but you can get it to hop up and then kind of hit in the nose, fall down, and you can kind of skirt it along and then kill it, and you pop it and kill it, and you can swim along, bounce it off things. Like around rocks, that chatterbait works pretty good for actually bouncing and deflecting off things. For wood, I find it gets snagged a little too often for my liking. But
that's a good idea. Throw 6 jackhammer on a rig.
Throw 6 jackhammer on it. Oh my god,
dude! I have a rod that can handle it too. I have a rod that'll handle 12 ounces.
You need to put like shock absorbing foam on your rod handle or your wrist will get blown up.
That would be awesome. I'm not gonna do it with jackhammers though.
Yeah. So Sir Altitude. Okay, do you put a trailer hook on your spinnerbait? I used to only fish my spinnerbaits with a trailer hook.
I will if I have a long skirt on it.
Yep. Or really cold water. Like if you're fishing at the lower end, like 55 degrees to me is kind of like the starting point where a spinnerbait really works. That is the perfect time to throw a trailer hook on your spinnerbait versus throwing a trailer on it. Because a lot of times they're going to come up and nip it. And that trailer hook's going to get a bit. Especially for smallmouth. Largemouth, they tend to just kind of thump it. But smallmouth are the more like kind of exploratory of the two. And they're just going to come up and kind of like nip at it and chase it and little swipes and stuff. I can't tell you how many fish I've caught just on the trailer hook. And like just barely had them by the trailer hook on a spinnerbait. And that's like sub 60 degree water. So keep that in mind. Bob, you guys fish docks. They gave up after snagging upholstery on the ski boutique. Yeah, dude.
Lots of them. Every single one I can find, I will throw a jig at.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or burn a chatterbait under, or spinnerbait near, or just literally throw anything that I have. I'll throw my rod at it.
I like jigs.
It'll get
docks. Or Senkos, wacky rig Senkos, because you can skip a mile all the way up underneath. Nico rig Senko.
I actually learned how to skip a football jig.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like all the way up to the shore. I'm like, all right, that works. And then I got bit, and I now would skip as far all the way up underneath docks as I possibly can.
Yeah, especially when you're talking warmer weather. When the shade is like really key, then you just want to get that thing way up underneath there. You'd be surprised how shallow water a big largemouth can be in. You ever been trying to get practice with in the driveway? And food for thought, when you want to practice skipping a jig, as weird as this is going to sound, skipping it across concrete is the equivalent of skipping it across water.
Yeah.
Because water tension. If you're trying to skip it on your driveway and it bounces, it's going to do the same damn thing or just shoot into the water when you're in the water. But if you can get skip nicely across your concrete, it's gonna do the same thing on the water.
I do like a twirl almost, and then I come down and like really keep the fuck out of it, and then let go, and it like kind of brings it down in like a really linear.
Yep, it's almost like at that last second you're pulling back and up a little bit.
Right.
So you're kind of like trying to lift it up. It almost like wants to take off as it's going, but just the tension of it skipping it keeps it just perfect.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do is, when I like to pitch into spots a little bit, I'm trying to get better at pitch skipping.
Yeah, that's hard.
For like really close, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Because you still gotta get a good speed to it if you're using like anything of moderate weight. But like 3/8 ounce with a decent trailer on it,
should
it's
be
not
able
too
to find.
Bring the oh, hang on, what do we got? Back it up a little bit. Oh, okay. So bring the chatterbait over submerged hydrilla has been the ticket for me, not success anywhere. So that's what we were doing all day today. Was working around vegetation. Get it right over the top. Just tick, tick, snap it out. Boom, and smoke it.
Yeah, you can work chatterbaits also like a lipless crank too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get it in that grass and just snap it out. It's gonna snap and it's gonna vibrate like crazy, which is gonna attract the fish just pretty much straight to it.
Right.
If they don't bite it, then I don't know. I'm doing something wrong. They should bite it.
Ferris, don't think too much about how it presents. As long as the profile is right, more than anything, as long as the color's right, they're gonna eat it. You know? And that's another thing I've been trying to wrap my head around.
That's literally what he just said. I said like a lipless. That's what he said.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The mandate off tomorrow. Oh yeah. That's tomorrow.
Is it? What is today? Oh yeah. It's supposed to end Friday the 16th. Tomorrow.
Cool.
I didn't realize it was that fast. Did they announce that today for New Hampshire? Oh, whatever. It'd be nice not to have it. Did you sign up for your vaccine yet?
I did.
We talked about this last week. I forget what you had said.
So I'm not fucking doing it.
I go May 9th.
No, I probably will. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet.
I get it. Well, whatever adverse effects you get from the stupid vaccine is not as bad as COVID.
Well, I mean, I haven't had the flu shot in 10 years. I haven't had the flu.
Yeah, but if you get the flu, you're not going to die.
You can die from the flu.
No, there's a high likelihood as COVID.
Yeah, I know.
See, it hits a little harder home for me because my neighbor, right there, not the house directly behind me, but behind and one over, her husband just died from COVID.
Yeah. My mom just got her second shot. She's like wicked sick right now.
Seems the second shot seems like a total crapshoot on to how bad it's going to be. 50-50. I know I've seen plenty of people who are like, yeah, no. Like, well, my wife and her brother, they got their first shot and their second shots together. My wife, second shot, bit of a headache and a really sore arm for a few days. But her mom knocked on her ass for like a day. She felt awful. So, hey, Nick.
What's
Glad
up,
you
Nick?
can join us, buddy.
Hey, seen you've been catching some pretty good smallies up there.
Mm-hmm. I want to get some good smallies. I've tried twice now. Nothing. Large has been treating me good, though. Dude, I've got 3 over 4 now? Do I? Wait.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I had the 5 whatever down in Mass.
Did I have 2 that night?
You did. You had a 4.3 and a 4.4.
Okay.
I had the 4.4 with you. I just had another 4. Why can't I remember? Oh, yeah. And then yesterday at the jig, the 4 3/4. Yeah, dude. I haven't been catching a ton of fish, but my quality's been pretty good so far. A lot of 3s. That's good.
Man, caught the bag of a lifetime for here. What
That's
is
awesome. It's 9:30. Hit us up with some more hypotheticals, some more questions. Otherwise, this might be kind of an earlier stream. This was a good topic, though, and it's all really important for this time of the year. I think we definitely covered Chatterbait a lot, but for good reason, dude. That thing has been killing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if there's anybody here that's been doing really good on a jerkbait so far, outside of whoever's still watching that's been fishing the river over there on the New Hampshire border there. It's different. Dude, like Jerry and them, like I've been seeing other people talking like Bass Boat Central forums.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody's been having a great time with the jerkbait in any of these random ponds.
That's weird.
It's been very weird.
I haven't caught any fish on jerkbait yet this year.
So, do you remember where?
I have a 6'6" medium heavy rod with a slow reel 6-0-ish.
Would you put on a shorter medium heavy rod like that? What?
What do you mean?
What would you put on a shorter, medium, heavy rod? Like,
I'd throw
for
like
baits?
soft plastics or something.
Yeah, medium heavy 6.6. You could even do like heavier jerk baits.
Medium heavy
cranks.
Medium heavy 6.6 is what I caught my PB on.
Yeah. You could throw jigs on that. Like it's got enough backbone. It's a little short.
Had a 3/8 jig on it.
Like he just said, soft plastics. Chatterbait.
Chatterbait. Ooh, yeah, that'd be a good chatterbait rod.
Maybe a spinnerbait. I wouldn't probably throw a trailer on it because it gets heavy fast. Like a 1/2 ounce spinnerbait with like a 4-inch swim bait actually is.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
You might
there.
want to use a heavy rod for that.
Yeah, hammer time. So that's what I was gonna say. Travis, our buddy Travis. Remember he lost his PB at the boat a couple years ago when he was up in Vermont on a lake.
I think so, yeah.
So that's where hammer time's been fishing.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw him on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram, yeah.
We need to go there soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna go up with him. 6 casts in a row, 4-pounders. That's insane. Brian, mine was 84, got her second shot, was drinking giblets with the neighbor the next day. That's awesome. Bobby, what's your typical approach in classic post-frontal, clear skies and breezy? I need water temp. Water temp for me dictates everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's my starting point. And then I look at everything else. So unless until I get water temp, I really can't do much. Damn, thank you, Ferris. It's like your second or third donation, dude.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Awesome.
This has been one of our most lucrative streams again. Yeah. This is awesome. Thank you, guys. We're getting really close to that next goal for getting that new digital camera for both the streams and just the channel in general. This is great. Thank you, Ferris. Seriously, man. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah. It's just a little short, so yeah, I mean, it should be fine.
I managed just fine with it.
Yeah.
But then I started. Well, I wanted a longer rod for
casting distance, really. It
pretty
comes
much
down
casting
to
distance, yeah, because I wasn't getting as much, distance and accuracy was fine. But then it got better as soon as I got a longer rod.
Yep.
So.
Hammer time. Throwing the Kitech with naked chatterhead, big and little jerks. Ha! So funny. I've thrown a naked chatterbait for smallmouth specifically, like little white swim baits. What the hell is it? It's Jackal, and I can't remember the swim bait, but it's like a 3.8 inch one.
Oh.
And they've got a bunch of white ones.
I got little perch ones.
Yeah, and the black ones is what we were throwing on the black and or brown ones. We were throwing on the back of the Hustler when we won that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Green pumpkin, not brown. Green pumpkin. What the hell is it called? Anyway, it's a 3.
I don't remember.
No, I don't know. But yeah, it's like a 3.8 inch, I think, swim bait. And I have white ones that I throw in the back of a naked, like white head chatterbait, and hoping to get smallmouth, and it hadn't panned out. I didn't even think about doing that for something bigger until I saw Beast Coast had posted the other day about guys down south doing really well with the Miyagi, which is a 4 3/4 inch swim bait on a naked jackhammer, or just naked chatterbait. I did that today. Yes, thank you. The rhythm wave.
Oh God.
Easy, buddy.
No, I got excited. I inhaled that.
Oh. So like, I threw it on, and literally the first cast of it, I caught like a 2.5, and then on my next cast, I caught another one that's a little over 2 pounds, and I handed the rod over to Kristen. I was like, all right, go for it, have fun. I think this is gonna work.
The rhythm one.
It just, oh God, dude, it looks amazing.
That's what it is. The rhythm one.
Yep. Okay, so Talon, post frontal 60-degree water, spinnerbaits all day, every day. Oh wait, sorry. Bobby, right. Sorry, post frontal 60-degree water. I agree with Talon. Spinnerbait.
Yep.
I would also throw spinnerbait. I'd
still work a jig.
I would throw a myriad of bottom contact baits. I'd throw a jig, and now I'd throw the Hustler, because that is always going to be in my rotation, because we've proven that thing works from ice out to ice in. Ned rig, big time. I'm going to throw a jerk bait, and I'm just going to play around my cadence. Oh, you're talking 60-degree water? It's still, like, I don't know, unless I'm wrong, like 60-degree water.
You're going to be able to pick them out of pretty much anywhere.
And you can probably still work that fast with like a lot of twitches with moderate pauses. Versus 60-degree water, like steady, consistent, you should be able to just hammer on that. Well, at that point, the smallies are bedding. or just about to bed.
Yeah, they're either gonna be munching or they're gonna be sitting on their beds.
Yep. Shallow crankbaits and just run them real slow, work with the speed. You know, it is 60-degree water, even after a front, like, they're still gonna be pretty aggressive. They're not gonna slow down that much. That water's pretty warm. The core of the body of water is gonna be pretty warm. Like, things are looking good, so you don't have to go too slow. Shadow wrap. Hammer time. Shadow wrap. I know a certain person that's a rather big fan of the shadow wrap.
Who's that?
You. and Dennis, actually. Dennis. Kristen. She had hers tied on today.
Well, I showed her that day when I had that fish turn my boat around on us. On
she brought that up.
Place we do not speak of.
Yep. She picked up. She's like, this is the same one Andrew caught the giant on. I was like, it's a good color. All right, so John, when do you guys do with a spinnerbait over a chatterbait? You start.
What do I do differently?
No, when do you go from spinnerbait to chatterbait, or vice versa?
I mean, I'll use chatterbait all year long.
Yep.
I will throw. I don't know. For me, preference. I would much rather throw a spinnerbait during like the day, and then go to chatterbait once the sun somewhat starts to go down behind the trees or whatever.
Yeah.
That's just how I do it. It doesn't mean anything, but that's just what I do. But I always use them when it's super windy.
Yes. I was going to say the same thing for wind. 55 degrees has always been kind of like that turning point where spinnerbait bite becomes a lot more reliable for me. And, you know, at that point, it's been like steady, not like, oh, hey, it's the first time we saw 55. It's been 55 for like a week plus. And especially on really windy days, like when all the fish are up shallow, whether you can see them or you're catching them other things, whatever, you know that they've been up shallow, they're established up there, the weather pattern's been consistent, they're held up, bait fish are up there, you're seeing them, whatever. If you know they're up there and the wind is if anywhere from a ripple to anything worse, but especially really high winds, I'm throwing a spinnerbait. And I'm not just going to throw it, I'm going to burn the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I had that one day last year where it was ripping into that back corner.
Yep.
And I was working that from that point back to the corner. And I was working it down only like a couple inches above the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would yo-yo it once.
Nice.
And then they would smoke it.
Do you remember what water temp was?
It was kind of warm.
Really?
Yeah. You were there the day before, and you said spinnerbait is on.
Oh, yeah, that was the day that I caught, like, 2 4s and, like, a dozen 3s.
And then I met you out there the following, because you went there 3 days in a row. I went there 2 days in a row. My trolling motor broke.
Oh, yeah. That was that week.
Yeah.
That I was out there and I caught a bunch of 4s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The water temp had to have been like 65 at least.
I don't think it was quite that warm at that point yet.
You don't think so?
Oh, that was a different day that I'm thinking of.
It was me and Jeff out there.
Damn, I don't remember what.
He
day
wouldn't have
that
gone
was
out
now.
if it was cold. So.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna back it up. Where are you? Carl, call me crazy as you get older. I tend to fish treble hook baits less and less. But I'm a big jig snob.
So am I.
Yeah, I love the jig. Jig just works too. So Fisher Mode said they both come in clutch different places, or the sand places just a preference sometimes. Yeah, that's true. Talon, chatterbait is when the fish just won't hit a spinnerbait for me. Yeah, dude, it's always been one or the other.
Yeah, it really is.
Yesterday was the only time that I've caught fish on both. I had a spinnerbait, a 3 3/4 on the spinnerbait, first-ish thing in the morning around like 8 a.m. And then I lost a 4+ without batting an eye. A 4+. She jumped clear out of the water, I don't know, 15 feet from the boat on the chatterbait. It's one of the first days I've been able to hit them on both. But talking about changing conditions, like it was 3 or 4 degrees warmer at that point when the chatterbait fish hit versus when I got my spinnerbait fish. And spinnerbait, it was windier and all clouds. Chatterbait, it was no wind and the sun had been out. Bluebird skies. So, pretty different. Yeah, Talon, that's another good way to put it. Spinnerbait is much more annoying. Or Chatterbait is much more annoying. I guess it depends on what kind of bladed spinnerbait you're throwing.
Annoying? What's so annoying about it? It catches giant fish.
Well, I think he means like the violence of it. Lack of a better way to put it. How much noise and commotion it makes.
Oh, annoying for the... okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Brendan, fat order of Vision 110 matte perch came in today. Better than Christmas.
Oof.
I just got that one. The Vision 110 matte perch looks so good.
Yeah, I like that one. It looks good.
I forget what I think that's supposed to be for like cloudier days. Just use a piece of hot dog on the hook, Dan. That's your catfish. I used to do that when I still live in the same town. I've been in here since I was 8 years old, but the first house that my family moved us into when we moved out of Mass, we lived on a little pond here in town. And we were right on this little back cove. And I used to do that at night. Like, we'd have family come over and do a little cookout. Everybody stay kind of late. And a couple of my weird uncles would be like, you know what, let's go for catfish. And bust out the hot dogs. Oh, yeah, this works great. Throw on a circle hook and just let it sit there. And before you know it, catch a little rat catfish.
Salt pork. I used to do that on, place Kyle always goes.
Yep.
When I lived there, I used to throw hot dogs down and catch. Dude, there's some big catfish in there.
I believe it.
Like, I've seen a couple wash up dead on shore that were like big. I'm a die-hard spinnerbaiter.
Yeah, I've seen what Fish and Mode has done with spinnerbait. He kills it. I always thought I did well with spinnerbait until I saw him start posting pictures. I was like, yep, okay, I'm an amateur. So, Sam, my wife caught a giant snapping turtle in a wacky rig Senko, oh God, like 10 years ago? 11, 12 years ago, before my kids were born. I think we were in the bass boat. Yeah, it was like 10 or 11 years ago. And we were fishing same place we're at today and working up. It was middle of summer. So I was just having her either fish a T-rig plastic or weightless spiky rig Senko and shoot. I was having her like, okay, any pocket you see in the milfoil, just fire that thing out. I look back, she's like, I'm stuck on something. The rod's double way over. I'm like, you just stuck it on the milfoil. Just pull it up. And like 30 seconds later, she's like, I cannot get this thing out. And I look over and the rod's like really double over. I'm like I'm annoyed now. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're just really stuck in the weeds. And I go lift it up and I lift back and now the rod tip's almost touching my hand. I'm like, okay, something's not right. So I put the trolling motor on, I go into it, and I just really rip up. You know, she's got 50-pound braid that I set her up with on this. And then this just giant clump of weeds come up, and I'm like, yeah, see, I told you. And then all of a sudden you see feet. Freaking like 50-pound snapping turtle comes up out of everything. I was like,
the one we pulled out of the grass in that tournament.
Oh my God. You know when you're fishing lily pads in the middle of summer, and you can see bass as they're going through, and you see the lily pad stalks?
All the grass is just...
and you know there's a big fish. We saw like something big swimming through. And I was like, oh buddy, look, giant fish. And I pitched in my pit boss, and we both saw my rod go bonk.
You just see the grass like parting like the Red Sea. You're like, oh no.
I set the hook, I'm like, it's a fucking giant. And then, like you said, everything starts parting. I'm like, something's wrong.
That thing, dude, it was huge.
It had to have been like a 40 pound.
It was like
it was big snapping turtle.
It was giant.
And he came up. He was pissed. I looked at him. I'm like, what do we do? And then I did it again off that tree at the pond next to the pond in which we do not speak.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we with Jeff? Remember we had to go rescue Jeff because the trolling motor died and he was out in your boat?
We pulled on. We were towing him. I'm like, dude, just give it a little. He's like, ah, shit.
Yeah, catch the snapping turtles. That's really fun.
I caught 2 snapping turtles and a beaver in one day at Bertucci's.
Oh, God. Yeah, Talon. Days where they kill Chatterbait and nothing else. Dude, last couple days, that's all they want. And I tried throwing the spinnerbait, one of my most, best producing colors, and they weren't having it. They wanted that Chatterbait. There's something about that in that, low to mid 50s, they prefer it. Carl, have you tried the Beat-Code jigs made by Bill Q? Oh, I didn't know the Tackle Warehouse is carrying them. That's awesome. We actually looked at those when we were at the New England Expo 2019.
Did we?
Yep. They had that rattle in the head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That Ralph was telling us about it.
Yeah,
it was
Ralph was. Yeah, I remember that.
The frequency of the rattle was supposed to match the frequency of baitfish feeding on shellfish or some shit like that.
No, it was the crayfish eating. chewing on whatever
Something,
the hell
yeah.
they eat.
I like them, but I'm sponsored by Beast Coast, so I only fish Beast Coast, and they haven't let me down yet. So I'm gonna keep using them until they let me down. Caught like 60 pounder last year and big on a frog. On a frog? Oh my god!
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it's a version of a gator. Yes, Brendan, you absolutely need to start punching mats this summer. Huge, dude. So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, Ryan, and you got chased by a snapping turtle? Like, how? Like, you were on the shore and he came after you?
Chased by goose once.
Yeah, Talon, dude, like, when your water gets... That's a good thing for, like, largemouth specifically. I have way more luck. They do smallmouth, although I've had some... I've had days where I've snapped 2 brand new spinnerbaits. I've caught so many smallmouth on just absolute insanity. But largemouth, like mid to upper 50s is really when it starts to turn on, especially like upper 50s closer to 60. Right through like a couple weeks after into post spawn, spinnerbait. If the wind's picking up, man, dude, you really gotta be throwing that. You will not regret it. Brendan, I missed the expo too. I was really disappointed about that. Chased you? So, yeah, Dan, you'd be surprised how fast snappers can move.
They can freaking move.
They can move. Remember that one we saved on the side of the road? Was that you or was that Josh? Coming back from the pond in which we do not speak.
I saved one. I think that was Josh, but I did save one and it ran not at me, but it was running. I was walking towards it and it was like, I'm like, oh shit, that thing's fast.
Yeah, no, that was Josh, and we came around the corner, and I was giant snapping turtle like half in the road. And I was like, we should move him. He's like, how do we do that? And I'm looking at him like, I don't know, what do we do? And I had the towel in the boat, and he's like, you have the towel still? I'm like, yeah. So he wrapped it up, and he just kind of like whipped it out the turtle, and it like ran at him. And I was shocked at how fast those things move from a short distance.
Yeah, they're quick.
So he just kept like flicking the towel at his face until he bit it, and they just dragged him along, dragged him off the road, and then just kind of like kept flicking at the towel until he let go, and worked great.
Those things smell like...
Oh, like death.
Shit.
Yeah, they smell like a friggin'...
They smell like a butthole. It's pretty gross.
Yes, they smell like that. Hammer time. Spinnerbaits, trailers or no?
Yes.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Depends. If they're post-spawn, I do better. When the water's warmer, I do better with a trailer than I do without post-spawn. But pre-spawn, I do better no trailer. It's kind of weird. But yeah, like I'll throw a 4.8 inch Kitech on the back of my spinnerbaits, and it works freaking awesome. I had some really good days doing that. If not a Kitech, there's actually this guy in Utah, Zero Baits, I met through Facebook. I haven't talked to that guy in a while. His name is Thor. He makes a 4 3/4 inch swim bait that was by far the best action on the back of a spinnerbait I've ever seen. I actually need to order more from him because I love them that much. They were freaking phenomenal. Zero Baits out of Utah. If you're curious, I'm pretty sure he's still in business. If he's making them, dude, look at them. If you're looking for like just a different kind of, local homemade swim baits, they're phenomenal. Wait, what did I miss? Mouse, what are you doing? Where? Stop. I know it's late, but New England Bass Tackle shows now that things are opening up. What do you mean, Carl? New England Bass Tackle? I haven't even heard of that. New England Bass Tackle. What? Dude, this mouse is having problems. Talon, no spinnerbait trailers for you. You're missing out. I love the pond in which you do not speak, and for every one of them, they're both. Yeah, exactly. No spinnerbaits for me. Chatterbaits. You should be throwing that, dude. Especially that place you just sent me that picture of the 6 from. You should be throwing a spinnerbait. The spinnerbait has been by far my best big bass producing bait in my entire life. Up until I caught that 7 on that stupid Senko, my PB was on a spinnerbait. My third biggest bass was on a spinnerbait. Because I just caught a 6-pound 2-ounce one. That's now my third biggest bass I caught. That was on a chatterbait. Like all of my mid and high fives, like the vast majority of them were all on spinnerbaits. I don't know what it is about a spinnerbait, but it absolutely calls up big fish.
Sandra got some smallies on the jig too.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I'm glad he likes bass fishing. It's
Right?
not only tuna fishing.
Sandro, you want to take us out tuna fishing? Por favor? That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. They said they do charters, so
I would be absolutely down for
I'm
that.
down for that.
A swap.
I'd love to do that.
Bass charter for a tuna charter. I'm pretty sure that math does not add up.
Not even a little bit.
No. Brian, Lee's Pond. The turtle literally swing right at the boat and bang his head on the side. We used the paddle to fend him off. Moved 30 feet and popped it again. It's too funny.
Jesus.
One time, when I was a little kid with my dad, at the same place I was at today, we were fishing. John boat, 14-foot flat bottom, little electric trolling motor. And all of a sudden, we felt like clunk, clunk, clunk. And my dad's looking around. He's like, what the? And he looks down. And he just starts laughing his butt off. I'm like, what? And he goes, come here. And I carefully walk to the back of the boat. Giant loggerhead snapping turtle was just sitting right below the troll motor. And he just, all his head would kind of come out slow and just clunk. And he clamped down on the prop for a plastic, on the troll motor. And my dad was dying. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Only happened one time though, and he kind of like poked it with a fishing pole, and he swam away. We moved, and that was the end of it. It was the only time it's ever happened. Talent. You gotta understand, I run tons of stuff like pond magics here, so small at a trailer is a bad idea usually. Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, Brendan, don't think just gill either. Think perch, think vibrant. You'd be surprised how well a really obnoxious colored spinnerbait can work anywhere.
Yeah, straight chartreuse.
Just kidding. I've already shown it on the stream. Dude, one of my best producing spinnerbaits is literally 100% chartreuse. That's it. And I can't even begin to tell you how many fish I've caught on it. So, food for thought.
Sorry.
Stinky for the win. Hammer time. Whole box of them growing barnacles. Oh, bass tackle shows or swap meets in the New England area. Oh, that's what you mean.
Everything is just not gonna happen this year.
No.
I think Dan just called off everything.
He did. Dan was the only one that was doing anything. So he did the New England Fishing Expo, the New Hampshire Outdoor Expo, the one in Connecticut, and he called them all off. The state kind of called them all off.
Yeah, he kind of got screwed.
We're going to wait for 2021. I mean, that's really the next one that's coming. So I think there's another local tackle swap that goes on like Manchester, New Hampshire in the middle of the summer. I forget where.
Probably is.
The Armory or something.
Probably.
That might go on now that like so many, I just read it the other day, like 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. Have now been vaccinated. We're getting close to returning to normalcy. I'm hoping that 2022, wow, god damn, that's a shitty thing to think about, but January 2022, the New England Expo comes back, and we're just back into the swing of things, but we'll see how it goes. Hey, Donk Swampy, my PB now is 7 pounds 5 ounces, and it was on a Senko, so if it bit it, it's not live bait, who gives a crap? As long as it's not a Guggen Senko.
Which state are you guys? We're from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. New Hampshire Bassin.
Hey, it's me.
Yeah.
That's a forgotten channel.
Chatterbait and murky water all day. Dude, that red fire craw, the last couple days we've been fishing it, has been in the dirtiest water that we found. From all the wind just stirring it up, and they love it. It's great. Talon, what? Wait, Ferris, where are you again? You're talking to Talon. Talon's in Arkansas. Kansas? Wait, what did you say? No, you said Kansas. God, my brain's not there. I'm sorry. I know, so, I mean, forage for New England. Oh, boy. You almost got to separate, like, Cape Cod and, like, south, going that way, from the rest of New England, because Cape Cod area and down in Connecticut, like, Candlewood and stuff, they have alewives. So that changes things a little bit. Everywhere else, perch, bluegill, crappie, trout. What am I missing? Crayfish, white perch.
White perch.
I already said perch, but I meant yellow perch when I first
yellow
said
perch, white perch, bluegill, pumpkin seed, all the sunfish, whatever.
Yep. Golden shiners.
Yep.
Like that's pretty much it. And yeah, so Ferris, yeah, Maine's gonna be the same. Oh, and smelt.
Oh, lots of smelt.
Smelt. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. But I think, I mean, that's the bulk of it. the most common things, like if you're talking bigger glacial lakes, like especially if you're talking Sebago, smelt is huge.
Yeah.
Up there. Yellow perch, also huge. Especially
Trout.
if you're talking smallmouth. Trout.
Trout is a food source.
Yep. And then again, crawfish. If you're talking largemouth, it's more bluegill, crappie, pumpkin seed, perch.
Pretty much any little panfish.
Yeah, maybe even white perch. I'd assume they eat white perch.
They got it. They definitely do. 100%.
Yeah, those white perch get pretty big.
You know, so do bass.
Damn right, Dan. New Hampshire bass fishing is wonderful. Bass are apex fish, so they eat everything they can fit in their mouth. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Was it Tom that said it when we did the Swimbait live stream? He said somebody else said it to him, but bass, they don't have mirrors down there. They don't know how big they are. They just see something that looks tasty and they go for it.
It's true. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I forget who told him that. I don't remember.
I don't think he said who it was. He just said that someone said it to him, and he said the same thing to me. I was like, oh, that's actually a really good point.
I was literally forced to use Guggen's sock.
Oof, that sucks, John.
Sorry, dude.
Overpriced replicas of somebody else's baits. Did I say that out loud?
I think you may have.
It's already 10 o'clock. We've talked a lot. Let's wrap this up because we actually do have some other important things I have to get to tonight before it gets too late. Because I don't have to get up tomorrow, but he does. This has actually been a way more productive stream than I was thinking it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit shorter for that kind of conversation, and we're going to be able to roll into other topic I had in my back pocket just in case. But that was actually really good. We covered a lot of kind of different scenarios. It was more a Q&A night than anything else. But,
yeah, it was good though.
But it was in line with what we wanted to cover tonight.
Yep.
Also, added bonus. Any other parting questions? 1. 2. If you guys have other topic ideas you want us to cover for streams, at any point you think of it, hit me up on any of my social media. I don't care what you do it, where, how, whatever. Just hit me up. Let me know. Yeah, various. Dumb fishing questions all night.
I forgot those.
So after we talked earlier, so when I called you yesterday, I meant the whole purpose of having you call me was to say, hey, bring those rods over so we can record a video, tell everybody what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and then we can talk about the giveaway. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to do it next week.
Okay.
So we'll have to get together.
Now they know what we're giving away.
Well, they don't know. They just know. Next week's going to be good.
Next week's going to be good.
Try the spinners. Maybe don't try the spinners tomorrow. I guess it depends on where exactly you are in New Hampshire. But even still, we're going to get snow, everywhere in New England. Maybe don't try the spinner baits yet. It's still a little too early, too cold.
Hey, try it.
Get ready.
Try it.
Then there's that.
Just do it. Whatever. Do what you want.
Any other parting questions before we go? Again, thank you to all the donations tonight. From Talon, we had Brian, and we had Fishing Mode that had the donations. Guys, thank you so much. I don't know. I need to put a little thing up here or something to keep track of donations during the stream because I can't. That was the gamble I took with streaming on YouTube versus Twitch. It's a lot easier to have all these things done on Twitch, whereas on YouTube that there's not as many good tools.
Can you stream from Twitch to YouTube?
No. I don't think so. Talent. I said Talon. I meant Ferris. I'm sorry. Did I say Talon?
Well, maybe you should.
Yeah. Sorry. I meant Ferris.
Just kidding.
Ferris, Brian, and Fishing Mode. Have a good night, Sam. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah. If you guys don't have any other questions, we'll wrap this up. We'll call it a night kind of early. It's been 2 hours. It's 10 o'clock. We got some stuff to order. I can finally get my stuff from Lose. So hopefully they have enough stuff in there that we can get this going.
Did you guys ever live stream on yourselves out in the water? Absolutely.
The last time I tried to do that, I got my butt kicked from the stupid stripers, and I got mad. I stopped streaming. I haven't done it since. But yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
From the stripers?
Yeah, I remember we were out there the first time, and we were laying into them, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to stream now because we're getting into them. And I literally didn't catch anything for the next 2 hours. I went 20 minutes on the stream. Yeah, and you got a giant. Go2, have a good night.
See you next time. Later, dude.
Thank you, Fishing Mode.
Thursday.
What we got here, Talon?
Thanks, Talon. There you are. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Bob. And thank you, Chris. Have a great night. Brian, thank you again. Have a great night.
Kristen, good night.
Great night. Get some rest. Kristen, I took a nap. I don't know if you did. If you didn't, you should have. Took a little 15-minute power nap. I feel like a champ. And I finish up with the coffee right after.
Kristen, depending on, I'll call you or we'll chat.
You guys going fishing Monday? I'm calling it now anyway.
Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna go to my new job on Monday. It's gonna be great. Okay, nobody else has questions.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up. So go ahead and sign it off. I'm gonna kill the stream. Thank you all again very much. Greatly appreciate it. And see you the next stream.
Study more water. Yeah, study your maps. Study your maps, study your maps, study your maps, because as soon as the summer comes, you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to know exactly where you are. We will see you next Thursday, and we have some giveaways next Thursday.